Eagles beat the Cowboys here in Philadelphia, the NFC Championship was at stake. 4 seasons ago, the Eagles defeated a Dallas team with Danny White calling the signals. White was the quarterback then, and he'll be the quarterback this afternoon. For the Eagles, who went on to the Super Bowl, Ron Jaworski was their quarterback then, but he won't be leading the Eagles today. Jaworski underwent surgery this week after suffering a fractured left leg and torn ligaments early in last Sunday's game. The Eagles didn't care for the Cowboys when they played early in 1981, and although the baton has been passed to a new head coach, the feeling's the same. The Eagles, with slim playoff hopes of their own, are out to deal the Cowboys a blow to Dallas's postseason dreams. And in the tightest division race in the NFL, the Cowboys need a win to keep pace with Washington. The Giants are also in action. The Eagles cannot win the division title, but they can win a wild card, and they have to be pleased with their year. Good afternoon again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton, along with my partner, Hank Stram. And, of course, Hank, when they played the third week of the year, the Cowboys won. It was close, 23-17. Gary Hogaboom was the quarterback then. And now with Jaworski out, we're going to see Joe Pisarcik take over the quarterback helm for the Eagles.
Well, Joe Pisarcik, you know, has been in the league for 11 years. He's a regular quarterback for the New York Giants. He's got a great arm, has a good understanding of the game, reads coverages very, very well. The one shortcoming is that he doesn't move very well, so I'm sure that we'll see a lot of blitzes, especially up the middle, to try to flush him out of the pocket.
It was a close affair the last time they played, but that was earlier in September. What do you look for this time around, Hank?
You know, football is a game of repetition, Dick, as you know, and I think any time that you play the Dallas Cowboys, you have to repeat the process. Number one, you have to do a good job of running and controlling 1st and 10 situations. I think it's going to be important to run right at the defense and especially run left. I think you have to keep them out of second and long, third and long situations to keep the 7 defensive backs out of the game. And on the other side of the football, I think the Dallas Cowboys are not a big play team anymore. They have to rely on field position. They want to reduce the size of the field as much as they can so they don't have to travel a long way to get stuck time.
Thank you, Henry, and we have a beautiful afternoon, 50 degrees, hardly a breeze, and partly sunny is the forecast. As Paul McFadden will kick off for the Philadelphia Eagles, the Cowboys have won the toss. There is Gary Allen, who's back there along with Chuck McSwain on the receiving end for the Dallas Cowboys. And the game is underway. It's going over to Allen's side at the goal line. He's at the 20 and knocked out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. So let's check the Cowboys offense. Danny White making his 4th start of the year at quarterback. Tony Dorsett and Timmy Newsome, not Ron Springs. Timmy Newsome is starting at fullback. Tony Hill and Doug Donnelly are the wide receivers. On the offensive line, more problems. Rookie John Hunt starts at right guard. A guard, Brian Baldinger, will be at right tackle. And, of course, Cosby is the tight end, and he is having a fine year. 1st and 10. At the 23-yard line. And here's Tony Dorsett, and he's almost hit behind the line of scrimmage and barely gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Let's check the Eagles defensively for you. Dennis Harrison, Ken Clark, and Greg Brown all have really come on as pass rushers up front on the 3-4. Wilkes and Joel Williams are the outside linebackers, and Jerry Robinson and Anthony Griggs are inside. The secondary, Elbert Fowles and Herman Edwards are the corners, and Ray Ellis, who made that play, and Wes Hopkins are the safeties. Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Play action pass, and White finds Tony Hill, and Hill doesn't get much. To about the 27-yard line, where Joel Williams makes the tackle. We talked to Tony Hill last night.
Yeah, he's got a lot of confidence and feels good about what they're doing as far as the Cowboys are concerned. He thinks that he can beat anybody. I asked that question specifically. I said, who would you rather run against, one quarter or the other? He said, doesn't make any difference. Just have the quarterback throw the ball to me, and I'll catch it.
He broke out of a kind of a slump with 8 receptions against the Patriots last week, plus a touchdown. It'll be 3rd down and 6 at the 27. Eagles in their nickel package defensively. And out of the spread, White caught, 1st down, and it's to Tony Hill again. It'll be a 1st down for the Dallas Cowboys at the 34-yard line. Herman Edwards making the tackle on Tony Hill.
They're in a shotgun formation. And he looks down the middle and then throws outside to Tony Hill. Catches the ball in front of Herman Edwards. He knew exactly where he had to go for the first down. You know, a guy like Tony Hill, it's very important that he feels he's an intricate part of the game plan, and he knows he's an intricate part when you throw to him early in the game.
And that kind of a pass indicates what you said at the top about how the Cowboys have to travel offensively in this game. So they have a 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Play action, and White in a rare rollout. He has room, and he's going to run it. Gets to the 43-yard line, make it the 42, and he picked up almost 8 yards on that play. Ray Ellis making the tackle. Danny White had an injured shoulder, was out a couple of games, and so he really takes a chance there.
That kind of a play, the contain man. The contain man means that he's got to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Dennis Harrison, number 68, the left defensive end, took a sniff inside, and for that reason, he was able to get outside of that defensive end and had plenty of room to move the football.
2nd and short yardage. White, tip, incomplete. Dennis Harrison got a hand on that one. And it'll be 3rd down and 2. What a second half of a year Dennis Harrison has had as a pass rusher and just getting in everyone's face.
We asked about his good play. There he is, number 68, coming across the line, using his hands very well on the offensive tackle, jumping up into the air and knocking the ball down. We asked about his improvement during the course of the season. He says, one thing, motivation. I'm highly motivated to play much better.
That normally does the job, doesn't it?
Usually does.
He was going up against Brian Baldinger, who's had to play right tackle with Phil Posderick, still not ready to start. It'll be 3rd down and 2 at the 43 for the Cowboys, out of the spread again. And Danny White's pass is batted down by Reggie Wilkes, the linebacker. So the Eagles are getting their hands up, and they're coming down by knocking down Dallas passes. And it'll be 4th down, and in the punt will be Danny White. He's going to be kicking.
One thing is very important when you try to throw in front of the defensive backs, you must keep the hands of the defensive linemen down and prevent penetration. That time, Reggie Wilkes, number 51, got the penetration, got his hands up in the air, and for that reason, he knocked the ball down.
Evan Cooper, who has averaged just over 6 yards return, and Danny White, who's been known to run, this time boots it away, and it's Cooper inside the 20-yard line. Is hit shy of the 25-yard line, and Vince Albritton really put a hit on Evan Cooper there. So the Philadelphia Eagles will have the ball for the first time in the game, but there's a penalty flag down, and wait, a penalty flag is down. Bob Frederick is the referee. It was a late flag, but there was certainly contact on the side and pointing all over the place. Frederick, the referee. It's a personal foul against Philadelphia.
It's funny to watch the players. One side said, no, it's on them. The other one says, no, it's on the other team. A lot of officials out there, even though they're not wearing a black and white suit.
Marion Campbell, the head coach, who is really pleased with the way the Eagles have come on.
Personal foul, number 24 on the return team.
Ray Ellis, who's getting a little bit of a lecture from Marion Campbell. That's going to set the Eagles back, but they'll have the ball when we return to Veterans Stadium. Eagles ball, 1st and 10 on their 12-yard line following the personal foul penalty against Ellis. And here's Joe Pisarcik making his first start since 1979 when he was a New York Giant. Randy White getting awfully anxious, and here's Wilbert Montgomery getting nothing, and he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage at best. Dexter Clinkscale making the tackle.
You take a look at Randy White, number 54. They're trying to block him to the inside, and they block him pretty well. Denard has got a pretty good piece of him. There's too many folks in there. There's too many people, just like trying to run through a revolving door, and not much of a gain on the play.
Randy White says you got to get up for all of the opposition on the offensive line. The feather in their hat if they beat me. Michael Haddix bringing in the plays. Now at fullback for Hubie Oliver. Will be alternating. Here's Wilbert Montgomery. Slides his way out to the 15-yard line, a gain of about 3. Anthony Dickerson makes the tackle. Montgomery's the leading rusher for the Eagles at 607 yards. but he's been playing with bruised ribs, and he has yet to go over 100 yards in a game this year.
Here comes the 7 backs.
4-row defense. Tom Landry, who announced this week that he will indeed end speculation and be the Dallas Cowboys head coach for the next several years. 3rd down and 7. Mel Hoover is the 3rd wide receiver, number 85. Pisarcik on 3rd down, getting a rush, and his pass is caught up the middle by Spagnola. Tight end, and a 1st down at the 30-yard line. Named this week the MVP on offense. 50th catch of the year, and a gain of 16.
You know, Spagnola usually comes out of the game on this spread formation. They're keeping him in this week, and he broke over in the middle on a delay pattern and was finally tackled by Clinksdale, but they pick up the necessary yardage for the 1st down. Good pass protection on the play. They seal him off in good shape on the inside.
Gain of 15, 1st and 10. Here's Montgomery. Runs right into Michael Downs and is shy of the 35-yard line. He picks up 4 yards, though, on the play. Michael Downs making the play on Wilbert Montgomery. We talked about that NFC title game that we looked at the top of the program. He gained 194 yards with Montgomery in that game, including a 55-yard touchdown. So he has fond memories against these Dallas Cowboys. 2nd down and 6 at the 34. Montgomery coming out wide to the left. Haddock's the lone setback.
They might try to, as much as they possibly can. I think they're going to try to work on Dexter Clinkscale as much as they can. That time he came in from the outside and really made a good play in the tackle.
Randy White made the tackle right there on Michael Haddock's, carrying for the 1st time.
Watch the defensive line play again. Watch Randy White, number 54, get off his block, uses his hand very well, and comes in and makes the tackle.
It'll be 3rd down and 5 for Pisarcik and the Eagles. He's already made good on 1 3rd down conversion.
Let's see if they try to lick Clinksdale again on this play.
Pass is picked off by Dennis Thurman, and he's going to run it in for the touchdown. A carbon copy to last week's game, Thanksgiving Day against the New England Patriots, when Michael Downs picked one off from Tony Eason and ran it in, and Dennis Thurman, who has intercepted a pass in each of the last 6 games against the Philadelphia Eagles, gives the Cowboys a lead.
They're trying to hit the tight end Spagnola, trying to work on Clinkscale again, but he threw the ball. There he is. He throws it too far outside, and Thurman comes up with great anticipation, makes the interception, and goes all the way for the touchdown.
Dennis Thurman with his 5th interception of the season. He's tied with Michael Downs for the club leadership. And here's Raphael Septien in to try the conversion. Gary Hogeboom is holding. The kick is up. It is good. And Septien now is 24 of 25 in conversions. And with 8:14 to go in the 1st quarter, Thurman puts the Cowboys in front 7-0. 6 interceptions last year. He has 5 right now, and the big defensive play putting the Cowboys in front 7-0. Septien will be kicking off, and Evan Cooper going deep in the middle for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles coming in with a record of 5-7-1. Find themselves in an early hole with 8 minutes and 14 seconds to go in the 1st quarter. Cooper at the 8-yard line. A problem. And brings it out close to the 20-yard line. Vince Albritton making the tackle on Evan Cooper. And so the Philadelphia Eagles will take over once again at the 19-yard line, with Joe Pisarcik leading the way. Mike Quick, who has been an outstanding receiver last year, and of course came on with 8 catches against the Cardinals last week, has sore ribs and tendonitis of the knee, but Kenny Jackson, the fine rookie, is back in the action.
I talked to Mike Quick before the game in the locker room. Boy, he was disappointed that he couldn't play. He said he was just sore and tender. He'll be back next week, but no business today.
Tony Woodruff is split out to the left, 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Wilbert Montgomery finds a hole off the left side and runs into Michael Downs again. But he picks up just about 5 yards on the play, close to the 25-yard line.
I think basically, you know, you feel you can run to the left more so than to the right, and as a result, you have to stay with that plan. And you can't say, well, we ran there the last time, so we better run someplace else because they're going to stop us. You have to run there until they do stop you. And that was a great illustration of it. They got off the ball in good shape and picked up 5 yards.
Marion Campbell, who, of course, sending in the offense. There's Ted Marchibroda a different way with Jaworski out of there by shuttling in the fullback. Montgomery on the pitch. Good block by Leonard Mitchell. And Wilbert Montgomery takes it out to the 26-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short yardage for the Philadelphia Eagles. Cowboys are coming in with their 4-0 defense nonetheless. Dutton and Lockhart made the tackle for the Cowboys.
Running to the right is like trying to put perfume on a skunk. It doesn't do much good. You know?
I guess not. 3rd down and 3. Cowboys will go with that 4-0 defense just about any time, I guess.
Well, they put a lot of pressure on you, and the thing about it is you don't know whether they're going to be in zone, you don't know whether they're going to blitz, you don't know whether they're going to be man for man. As a result, it creates some indecision.
Don Smerick, number 60, is in for Dutton as part of that package. Pressure on Pisarcik. Smerick, the pass is caught by Spagnola and then lost. It's a fumble, and the Dallas Cowboys have recovered. Dexter Clinkscale on the recovery, and Victor Scott made the hit. A big defensive play again for the Dallas Cowboys.
Very obvious. You know, we touched on this earlier. They're going to go to Spagnola as much as they possibly can from their spread formation. They go to him again. He's open. He makes the catch. The ball is scraped loose from the backside. It's fumbled and recovered by Dexter Clinkscale. And now the Dallas Cowboys, just what we talked about earlier, they want to reduce the size of the field, and they have so far.
But to 30 yards, that's really reducing it. 1st and 10 at the 34 of the Eagles. Newsom and Dorsett split backs. Here's Dorsett with Hunt blocking, trying to cut inside. And Jerry Robinson and Anthony Griggs, the 2 inside linebackers, just wouldn't give him any room to run. Tony Dorsett coming into the ball game needs only 21 yards to reach the 1,000-yard mark for the 7th time in 8 years in the NFL.
It's unusual that the personality of the Cowboys has changed so much this year, but again, a great illustration of how the coaching staff takes advantage of their situation. They average 30 runs a game, 39 passes a game, which is way above what they normally like to do from a passing standpoint.
2nd down and 9. Tony Hill and Mike Renfro are out to the left, and Renfro comes in motion. Dorsett, not much. It'll be 3rd down and about 8 for the Cowboys. Anthony Griggs again is in on the tackle with help from Joel Williams, the outside linebacker.
You know, the Philadelphia Eagles use zone defense, but it's a very tight zone defense, and their defensive backs and linebackers, they do not watch the quarterback like most zone teams do. They watch the receivers, and as a result, they play them a lot more tight than normal zone teams do.
Tony Hill goes out to the left. 7 defensive backs in there for the Eagles. 3rd down. Close to 9. Here's Danny White up the middle, and it is almost picked off. It was deflected first by Duriel Harris. And Harris almost allowed an Eagle to pick it off. Elbert Fowles was defending Duriel Harris on the play. It'll be 4th down.
And I think whenever they get a chance, they're going to try to pick on Elbert Fowles, number 29. Not that he isn't a good player, but they think maybe because of his inexperience, they can work on him better than maybe some of the other defensive backs in Philadelphia secondary.
So the Eagle defense holds following the 2nd turnover of the ball game, and now Danny White will kick from just inside the 50. Evan Cooper is deep for the Philadelphia Eagles.
If they have some kind of a gimmick play on this kick situation, we might see it. No, they don't.
That one is going to sail into the end zone for a touchback. So the Eagles escape some danger following that fumble, but they'll get it back, trailing 7-0, 4:54 remaining in the 1st quarter. Stadium in Philadelphia on a perfect Sunday for football on this first weekend in December. Dick Stockton and Hank Stram reporting. The Cowboys lead 7-0, but the Eagles have it 1st and 10 on the 20. They've turned the ball over the first 2 times they've had the ball today, and one really cost them. Pisarcik. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Kenny Jackson. We talked about Jackson, the #1 draft pick out of Penn State, who was out 4 games with a shoulder separation. Came back against the Cardinals last week, but did not get in. And with Mike Quick out of there, Hank, they're really going to have to rely on Jackson's speed today.
Yes, and I think the other thing that's very important, I think anytime that you roll out like Pisarcik did on that last play, the receiver has to give himself more room on the sideline because it takes a little time to get out to the outside. You either got to hit inside more or deeper and then break outside. The timing of the pattern was not good.
2nd down and 10. Michael Haddix is the running back. Pressure. Dickerson coming in. Pisarcik loses the ball in the air, and it's going to be an incompleted pass. I don't know if anyone tipped it. It looked like Pisarcik just lost it, but maybe we'll get a closer look.
That ball just slipped right out of his hand, and that's the problem with a brand new ball. That ball is pretty slippery sometimes, and if you don't have a pretty good grip on it, it's going to slide right out of it. Look at this. He brings it back to throw it, and as he brings it back, it just falls right out of his hand.
3rd down and 10. We talked to Pisarcik in Friday's practice. He says, I've been in the game 11 years, Hank. He says, Ron and I are best friends, but this is my 2nd game, and I'm excited.
And Ron called him and wished him well and is pulling for him all the way.
That's not surprising, knowing Ron Jaworski. 3rd down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Here comes the pressure on Pisarcik. And he overthrows Mel Hoover. Covering on the play was Everson Walls.
I tell you, they did a good job of picking up. They did a good job of picking up the blitz on the last play. The offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles. There you see Clinkscale, number 47, coming. You see number 60 coming, Don Smerick. But he hung in the pocket very well, and they picked up the blitzes extremely well.
Michael Horan having a good year, averaging nearly 42 yards a kick. Gary Allen is back for the Dallas Cowboys. The kick sends him to the 30. Here's Gary Allen to the 40 and gives the Cowboys good field position just about to the 45-yard line. We have 4 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Dallas has had the field position, and they have the lead. Well, here's Ernie Stautner, the defensive coordinator of the Cowboys. Hank, you spent some time with him last night.
Yeah, he talked about the game, of course, and related this one to the Buffalo game a couple of weeks ago that we did. He said he felt his team defensively was going to be very ready for the game. And it looks like they made some adjustments with their flex defense, and we'll talk about that as we go along.
I guess their defense has made some adjustments. They've done the job so far. 1st and 10 on the 44. Danny White's pass is caught by Tony Hill and out of bounds. It is a 1st down for Dallas, but right now for an NFL Today report, here's Brent Musburger in New York. Brent?
Dick, in this sequence is Patriots against Cardinals. Craig James hit by linebacker E.J. Jr., picked up by linebacker Thomas Howard, 29 yards. The Cardinals lead 14-0 over the Patriots. Back to Dick.
Thank you, Brent. And, of course, Neil Lomax threw a touchdown pass to Doug Marsh earlier for the first Cardinal score. It's 1st and 10 at the 44. Tony Hill, I guess, is figuring in the offense today. He wasn't so sure last night.
He didn't know what the plan was, but evidently he knows what it is now.
Here is Tony Dorsett trying to turn the corner to the 40. And out of bounds at the 34-yard line into Eagle territory. Ray Ellis coming up to make the stop. So the Cowboys, as Hank mentioned, trying to play on the shorter field, have done exactly that so far with 4 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's really the only thing bad about the short field was the fact that they had the ball on a plus 35 and came away with no points. That's the important thing. You know, if you get good field position, that's fine, but you have to do something with it, and they didn't the last time they had the football.
And that was as a result of a fumble, recovery by Dexter Clinkscale. So Tom Landry's Cowboys have a 2nd down and 1 at the Philadelphia 35-yard line. Cowboys 8-5 on the year. Timmy Newsome in motion. Play action on 2nd and 1. Penalty flag is down. Danny White gets hit, and the pass is intercepted by Reggie Wilkes. And he's tackled right away by Doug Cosby, the tight end, but there's a penalty flag down. If it's against Dallas, it'll be declined. Greg Brown put a terrific rush on Danny White. The roar of the crowd will indicate this call, and I think they have an idea already. It's against Dallas.
I'm surprised that Danny White threw that ball. Didn't have anything on it at all. It's a play-action fake, and he was trying to hit Newsom all the way across the field. Watch it now. They play action fake. It's not a very good fake at all. Newsom is coming across from left to right, and he throws the ball. There's two people right by Newsom. He throws it short, and it's intercepted there. And now the Eagles have possession, 1st and 10.
And for Reggie Wilkes, his first interception of the '84 season. Notice we haven't had the graphics for a while, but we have the numbers and letters for you back. We're glad to tell you that. And with 4:05 to go, the Eagles have it 1st and 10 on the 26-yard line. And, of course, that's a big turnover because Dallas had been dominating the game and taking advantage of every break until then.
See if they go left here.
They do, and it's Wilbert Montgomery banging off a tackler and going out to the 31-yard line. Good second effort by Montgomery with middle linebacker Eugene Lockhart making the play.
Watch the pursuit. Watch Lockhart. Watch Lockhart coming over to make the play. Comes off the block in good shape. He's big and he's strong, and he winds up making the tackle. Went right through the blocker.
You know, the Washington Redskins, of course, on Thursday beat the Minnesota Vikings, and Joe Gibbs said Sunday we're going to be real fans and watch this game, and so we know Joe Gibbs and his team is watching this ball game. Here is Montgomery off the right side, and Michael Downs wrestles him down at the 35-yard line, about 1.5 yards shy of a first down. The Eagles, last 3 times, have had their problems. 2 of them have been turnovers, and they hope the 4th time is a little bit better as the clock running, nearly 3 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Well, the difference so far really has been the fact that the Cowboys have had much, much better field position than the Philadelphia Eagles, which is very obvious by the chart that we're just looking at.
Good to get him back, isn't it, Hank?
Yes, it is. It do help.
Jeff Rohr has replaced Anthony Dickerson at outside linebacker, number 50. 3rd down and 1. And Michael Haddix is hit behind the line, and a loss on the play by Randy White.
Boy, that's a long way to run for short yardage from the right side of the formation, the right side of the ball, all the way over to the left side. You have to hold your blocks an awful long time. That time they didn't, and for that reason they missed making the first down.
So on 3rd and 1, they fail to convert, and Michael Horan will be kicking to Gary Allen once again. Allen, low kick on the 26-yard line. Will give the Dallas Cowboys decent field position again as he runs it out to the 41-yard line. Vito Cab making the tackle, a 14-yard return by Gary Allen. Well, in the month of December, CBS Sports coverage of NCAA basketball will feature the nation Las Vegas against Georgetown.
They'd like to throw in front of Herman Edwards. Let's see if they do this on 1st and 10. There's some room over there. Now they're changing the coverage.
At the 41-yard line, Danny White has some time. Dumps it off to Timmy Newsom, who makes the catch back of the line of scrimmage. Jerry Robinson making the tackle. Newsom, of course, came back into the starting lineup for the Thanksgiving Day game against the Patriots when, in an effort to inject more offense, Doug Donnelly came in as well as Newsom.
Newsom is a big back. He's big and he's strong. He's got great speed. You know, he's a big play guy. I don't think he blocks nearly as well as Springs, but overall he's capable of making the big play.
They give him a yard, call it 2nd and 9 on the 42 with 1.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Cowboys continue to play with that battered makeshift offensive line. White's pass off the fingertips of Tony Hill. Herman Edwards was coming in fast, but Hill just couldn't hold on.
One thing about the Eagle defensive backs, you might catch a ball in front of them, but if you do, you pay the price. You get no wholesale deal there because they really come up and ding you real well. And I think that time was a great illustration. I think Hill anticipated the hit and in the process lost the ball.
You mentioned the point about how Philadelphia defends in their zone, and that should be emphasized again.
Yes, they play the receiver and not the quarterback, and so they get a better jump on the ball than most teams who use the zone defense.
Duriel Harris, number 86, is the 3rd wide receiver in the spread offense for the Cowboys. White to the sideline, incomplete. Tony Hill was the man he wanted to get to. Roynell Young, the nickelback, defending on the play. So far, the Philadelphia Eagles defense has played very, very well, and that's the way they've been playing lately.
And so has the Dallas Cowboys. Both teams are playing very, very well defensively, and both teams look very disjointed on offense. It looks kind of a grab bag kind of a style offensively. They haven't established any kind of continuity or any kind of a pattern so far.
Evan Cooper is back. Danny White to punt again with 1:08 remaining in the first quarter. The only score in the game came on a turnover. Cooper, fair catch on the 26-yard line. 7-0, the Dallas Cowboys lead. Dennis Thurman ran back an interception 38 yards on the first possession the Eagles had, and that's been the only score. The Eagles on offense at the 26. Philadelphia has only one first down so far. Pisarcik fires, caught. Spagnola to the 45-yard line, a gain of 18 yards. Downs and Lockhart finally brought him down.
Spagnola, their big gun, their tight end, they like him very much. An inside rush by Too Tall Jones. Spagnola just breaks into the middle area. That's his domain. That's where he wants to do business. And he gets the ball. Watch him. Watch Too Tall Jones trying to rush the passer on the inside. Dutton goes outside. Too Tall gets penetration, but the ball is thrown before he gets any progress.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line for the Eagles. This may be the last play or so of the first quarter. Pisarcik has time. His pass incomplete. John Spagnola, the intended receiver.
Boy, Lockhart made a good play. The middle linebacker getting a piece of the ball. He looked like he tried to loft the ball right over the top of Lockhart, but he jumped up there in great shape and made the play.
He messed up the timing on the pass, but you remember Spagnola told us the other day that the one thing Pisarcik has, of course, is the ability to feather the ball when he needs to, and that was an example of it. It just didn't work out for the Eagles.
Yeah, just didn't get enough air and room that time to get it over the top.
11 seconds remaining, as you see, in the first quarter. 2nd and 10 for Philadelphia. They're at the 44. Pisarcik to Spagnola. First down, Eagles inside the 40-yard line. And time is going to run out in this quarter. Another 18-yard pickup. And the Philadelphia Eagles with their deepest penetration right now. Lockhart and Dickerson the tackle.
Dickerson that time had him look like man for man. But Spagnola's a big, strong tight end. He knocked him off course, came on the inside. Dickerson comes in afterwards late to make the play, but the damage was already done by John Spagnola coming off the line of scrimmage.
Having a fine first quarter as it comes to an end. 4 receptions for Spagnola. The Cowboys lead at 7-0 and will be back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the Dallas Cowboys lead the Philadelphia Eagles 7-0 as we start the second quarter. Dick Stockton and Hank Stram. Deepest penetration right now for the Eagles, and Joe Pisarcik 4 for 9 in the first quarter. Hank, all 4 of his passes to John Spagnola, the tight end.
And the big surprise so far really has been the fact that the offensive line has done such a good job of pass blocking for Joe Pisarcik.
That line has been intact the last 6 weeks. Wilbert Montgomery backs his way up to about the 42-yard line, a gain of about 2, 2nd down and 8.
And the Eagles have had the ball 8 times on 1st and 10. They have passed 3 times and have run 5. Pretty good balance.
Ball at the 38-yard line. As Montgomery goes out of the ball game, Michael Haddix is in there. Spagnola coming in with a career high with 49 catches, 4 so far. MVP on offense. Big comeback year for Joe. Pressure on Pisarcik, and he's going to go down. Randy White, first sack of the ball game, and last week against the Patriots, Tony Eason was sacked 10 times by the Dallas defense.
Mike Hegman, number 58, was blitzing from the outside. We just got through talking about how good the pass protection was. Here's Hegman. Look at number 58. No, but he doesn't get in there. It was Randy White again. I thought Hegman blitzing on the play was a man who made the tackle, but it wasn't. Randy White again.
But I'm sure Hegman blitzing had to have a factor on Pisarcik.
He saw him coming, no question about that.
3rd down and 15. Loss of 6 on the play. The ball is back at the 44-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. Here comes Randy White again. The pass is dumped off and incomplete. Wilbert Montgomery, the intended receiver. Looked like Pisarcik was just trying to push that ball to Montgomery. Bates covering on the play.
Watch there in that. Here comes Randy White coming all the way around the outside, and he gets free. Nobody picks him up. But Pisarcik didn't see him coming, feathered the ball nicely, but it looked like he kind of aimed the ball a little bit instead of throwing it. And as a result, it was just a little bit short, and Montgomery was not able to pick it up, and also Bates really covered well on the play.
Gary Allen is back. Mike Moran will punt from his 40-yard line. Dallas has had good field position so far. Not been able to capitalize on it. Neither of the Cowboys have been able to take advantage. Defense is dominating here. Kick goes into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and the Dallas Cowboys will take it out on the 20-yard line with less than 2 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. In the big game in New York between the Jets and the Giants, a lot at stake for the Giants. No score. They're in the second quarter of that battle. New England is on the board, but the Cardinals lead 14-3 in the second quarter. Former Eagle Tony Franklin kicked the field goal for the Patriots. 49ers trying to nail down the home field advantage for all the playoff games, lead Atlanta.
Well, they're hot, and they're playing very, very well in all phases. Their offense, defense, and especially team.
First and 10 at the 20. Here's Tony Dorsett, head down, loses the ball, and the Eagles, I believe, have recovered. They have. Ray Ellis made the recovery. That secondary is awfully physical. Tony Dorsett is still on the ground.
Boy, somebody got in there and really got a great shot. I don't know whether it's Anthony Griggs or who it was, but somebody used their shoulder pads as well as you could use them and delivered a tough blow on Tony Dorsett.
You know, this secondary really takes pride in the way they're hitting. I don't know if it was a secondary here.
Here they go, pulling, right guard pulling, running off to the right side. Jerry Robinson is blocked to the outside. Oh, there's a late hit. It was Ray Ellis, number 24, came in there from the safety position.
Griggs was there, but Ellis really delivered the smack that we could hear all the way up here. Ray Ellis and Wes Hopkins about as hard as hitters as you'll see in a secondary, and that includes the San Francisco 49ers, who are known for having a physical secondary. Dorsett is still shaken up, and we're going to take a break here in the second quarter. Dallas Cowboys, Tony Dorsett really took a hit and now is getting up, and he's got to be thinking cobwebs right now. Crowd, some of them give him a hand. He's gained 11 yards in 5 carries so far, and boy, Ray Ellis really gave him a lick on that play.
Here he's coming to the outside. Look, he's going right through the hole, and as he comes through here, he's hit straight ahead in the head, knocks the helmet loose. Ray Ellis really gives him a good shot.
So Dorsett, who came into the game, as we said, needing 21 yards to reach 1,000. But the Eagles have the ball.
Glad to see Tony Dorsett get up and walk off the field like he did, however.
First and 10 for the Eagles on the Cowboy 24. Wilbert Montgomery is the running back. This is the deepest penetration the Eagles have had as a result of the fumble. Here is Montgomery. He's going to throw the ball. He's going into the end zone, and the pass is overthrown. Michael Haddix had beaten Michael Downs, but Montgomery's pass was too long. You remember, Hank, that the Cowboys beat the Eagles earlier in the year, the game we covered, on a flea flicker, on a pass from Mike Renfro to Doug Donnelly, as Dorsett rests on the sideline.
Yeah, that pass wasn't even close. He threw away into the end zone. The guy at the end of the, right against the fence, the cameraman had a good chance to catch it, but he's the only one.
And I don't know if he has good hands.
I don't think so.
Second and 10 at the 24.
I saw him drop the camera on the way up.
Hubie Oliver is the fullback. Play action for Pisarcik. Up the middle, caught. Spagnola again. Spagnola does not have a first down. He gets to the 17-yard line. Michael Downs making the hit as Pisarcik took a hit himself.
Spagnola isn't wearing gloves. He might have to wear some before the afternoon's over with. His hands will be sore.
That's his 5th catch of the ball game. talked about the different styles. He said that Pisarcik and Ron Jaworski have similar throwing styles. Dorsett working on him. 3rd and 3 at the 17 of Dallas. Cowboys lead the Eagles 7-0 early in the second quarter. Pisarcik up the middle. Caught. First down. Guess who? Yep. Spagnola inside the 5. Victor Scott and Michael Downs make the tackle. That's a 14-yard gain. Pisarcik to John Spagnola.
And Spagnola really made a good move. He came off the line of scrimmage. Watch him on the left side here. He comes off the line of scrimmage, makes an inside move, then cruises to the outside and runs right through the arms of Victor Scott, number 22, and gets extra yardage on the play. Really a great move by the part of John Spagnola, the fine tight end.
I'm beginning to think he's a primary receiver in the Philadelphia offense today.
That's what I like about you. You make great observations.
The Eagles are going to call a timeout. They're using one of their first half 3 right here. They have 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line. Philadelphia trying to tie this ball game up. 11:58 to go. Stram here in Philadelphia. Sell out at Veterans Stadium. 1st and goal at the 4 for the Eagles, who trail 7-0. Dennis Thurman intercepted a Joe Pisarcik pass and ran 38 yards, and that's been the only score. We've already had 4 turnovers in the ball game. And following a Dorsett fumble, the Eagles are trying to capitalize. Tom Landry knows his team has to play to the ultimate every week. Oliver and Haddix are the 2 running backs. In motion is Spagnola. And here is Michael Haddix, and Randy White comes from behind and throws him down, and a flag is also tossed down on the play. Can't have a better year than Randy White is having.
He's amazing, and it was fun to talk to him yesterday because he comes up with the right answers all the time. You know, we talked about playing against different people. He said, listen, he's a professional football player. He's in the National Football League. He wouldn't be playing if he wasn't good, so that's the way I approach it. Everybody's the same. I play the same way against everybody.
The flag will be picked up. There was no foul.
Watch Randy White come through the gap. They missed a block on him. The one thing you have to make sure you block him, but he took an outside charge right through the gap and came through and made the tackle. Beautiful play by Randy White.
Loss of 2 yards. Dallas's defense really slugs up when it comes down to short yardage at the goal line.
And Stockton said, we're going to play better, we're going to play tough, and they're doing that so far.
3 tight ends in for Philadelphia. Play action, Pisarcik. His pass, a little bit too hard, I think, for Spagnola. He was alone in the back of the end zone, and most of the passes have been directed his way. 10 out of 13 to be exact.
Watch Spagnola come off the line of scrimmage. Pretends it like he's going to block Clinkscale and then goes to the inside. He's there. Threw it too hard and went right through. He ought to catch that kind of a ball. It doesn't make a difference how hard it is. You ought to catch that.
And maybe that's what he's telling Pisarcik as they break the huddle. 3rd down and goal at the 6. 11:50 to go, second quarter. 7-0 Cowboys. A lot of men at the line. Pisarcik. Pass. Incomplete. Hubie Oliver was the intended receiver, and the Eagles, Pisarcik going over. Bill Bates defending on the play, complaining a foul against Dallas, but no go.
Pisarcik waited too long to throw the ball into the flat to Hubie Oliver. He was open for a long time. By the time he decided to throw the ball, it was too late, and Bates came over, number 40, and made the play.
So rookie Paul McFadden, who had a bittersweet game last week, he set a new club season field goal mark with his 26, but missed a 4th quarter field goal that cost Eagles the ball game. This will be a 23-yard attempt with Pisarcik holding. And the kick is good, and the Eagles score with 11:42 remaining in the second quarter. It's been a defensive game. Both sides playing well, and it's now 7-3. We'll be back with the Philadelphia kickoff. Remaining in the second quarter, Philadelphia is on the scoreboard, trailing now 7-3, and Paul McFadden will be kicking off for the Philadelphia Eagles. Chuck McSwain and Gary Allen. There's Allen back for the Dallas Cowboys. By the way, the Dallas offense has managed only one touchdown in the last 9+ quarters. So as Hank mentioned, their defense has kept them in business. Going over to McSwain at the 9-yard line. McSwain is hit by Sampleton at the 30-yard line, and that's where the Cowboys take over 1st and 10. Lawrence Sampleton on the play. Well, next Saturday, the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern Time, and then the Minnesota Vikings take on the San Francisco 49ers. And Hank, it'll give our viewers a chance to see this marvelous team you were talking about, them excelling in every phase. Only one loss this year. You'll see the 49ers 12:30 Eastern next Saturday.
Well, they're a well-tuned football team, I tell you. They're in sync, and they've got good rhythm, and they're moving like gangbusters.
They're leading 14-3 over Atlanta, and Joe Montana has thrown 2 touchdown passes today. 1st and 10 at the 30. Danny White wide open is James Jones, and he picks up a 1st down and is out of bounds close to midfield. A 19-yard pickup, James Jones.
Somebody had to blow the coverage on the play. He looked like he ran right out of the bleachers that time. He was so open. In fact, I started to count the people. I thought maybe he was the 12th man the way he was broke out into the flat area. Nobody around him whatsoever, and he picks up a big 1st down on the play.
He's been in the offense mostly on passing situations, replacing Dorsett. Now it looks like he's going to see a lot more action with Tony on the sidelines. Ron Springs is with Jones in the backfield, 1st and 10.
Look at all the room over here with Tony Hill.
Jones hit immediately by Ken Clark. You want to talk about the Philadelphia defense and their fine play as of late. Ken Clark, terrific defensive player, voted MVP by his teammates on defense for this year.
And Marion Campbell has always had a great reputation as a defensive coach. And talking to Landry and the Cowboys, they all have great respect for this man right here, Marion Campbell, calling the defensive from the sideline. He's one of the very outstanding defensive coaches, I think, in the National Football League.
2nd down and 9. White up the middle. Ron Springs drops it. He was open. Green Bay trailing Tampa Bay 7-0. The Buccaneers are looking for a sweep over the Packers if they can win that game. And the Denver Broncos headed for the playoffs over Kansas City 7-0 in the 2nd quarter at Arrowhead Stadium. Buffalo 21, Indianapolis 2 in the 2nd quarter. Bills are going with Joe Dufek, quarterback they like for the future.
Yeah, they talked about him a couple of weeks ago, like him very much. Pittsburgh 3, Houston 0.
It'll be 3rd and 9, just short of midfield for Dallas. Danny White's pass, and a receiver fell down. Defending on the play, Albert Fowles. The intended receiver was Duriel Harris, and he fell down, and the ball went whistled right past him, so it'll be 4th down, and the Eagles defense holds again.
Watch Duriel Harris, number 86, coming off the line of scrimmage. He's got fouls on the inside, makes an inside move, and then slips. He tried to cut on his left foot that time, and I think that's a great illustration. You have to cut on your right foot when you're going to go to the left side to get better balance. He didn't have the balance, and slipped. And fell on the play.
Danny White kicking toward the sideline. Evan Cooper calls for the fair catch at the 17-yard line. It's like one of those old Southeast Conference games with Mississippi and LSU back in the 50s. Field position and defense dominating. Defensive battle, Hank. 7-3 Dallas in front.
There's a lot of good hitting going on, that's for sure.
Ball at the 17-yard line. Joe Pisarcik. He's replaced Jaworski in relief 3 times prior to last weekend's game against the Cardinals, so he has seen action this year. And in the pass, pitch to Montgomery with Hubie Oliver blocking, but not much on the play. Hegman and Dickerson, the outside linebackers.
I'm surprised they went ahead with that play that time. The strong safety was on the line of scrimmage almost, and they had it was like having an extra linebacker on that side. It's hard to make that kind of a play go, and they didn't. Really kind of a wasted play.
No gain, 2nd down and 10 at the 17-yard line. Giants have jumped ahead of the Jets 7-0 on a Touchdown run, 1 yard from Rob Carpenter with 3:44 to go in the second quarter. Pisarcik under siege, pass is caught by Spagnola, close to a first down. At the 28-yard line, Michael Downs makes the tackle. What a game Spagnola's having, 7 catches.
Well, that time Klingsky was on the outside again. There's a good pattern. They bring him all the way across the field. You see, in the weak safety, Michael Downs has to cover him, and he makes the play, but it's too late. And Spagnola makes enough yardage to come very, very close, within inches of the first down.
It'll be third and less than a yard. Haddix, the back. UB Oliver. Michael Haddix appears to have the first down. Too Tall Jones and Randy White were there, but right now for an NFL Today report, here is Brent Musburger in New York.
Dick, finally, we've got a score in that game for the bragging rights to New York, and it is Rob Carpenter, his 7th touchdown of the season. The Giants add the extra point. They lead the Jets 7-0. Back to Dick.
Thank you very much, Brent. It is a first down for the Eagles, just shy of the 30-yard line. We have 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. Only 1 touchdown, and that was made by the defense. Dennis Thurman on a 38-yard interception.
I see another pass here on 1st and 10.
UB Oliver, 34, the lone setback. Pisarcik has time, and the pass is dropped by Wilbert Montgomery. He was there and just dropped at the 45-yard line. Michael Downs was the closest defender.
And he made a good move. He went right down, 2 downs, and then came back for the ball, but it hit him right in the chest, and he dropped the football. Bounced right out of there. It didn't look like he had his hands on the football. It hit his shoulder pads and bounced right out of there.
Montgomery's had a good year as a receiver. He has caught 50 passes, which matches his career high. But not that time. And it's 2nd down and 10 at the 29. That's Pisarcik's work so far today, most of them. In fact, all of them have been to John Spagnola, the tight end. By Spagnola at the 36-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 3 or 4. Michael Downs again on the tackle.
See, Spagnola's big and he's strong, and he fights right through. Watch the linebacker trying to hold him up, but he's strong enough. Look at it. He brings up his left arm, fights right through the linebacker, Dickerson, and then breaks to the inside, right by the numbers, and he makes the catch, and Downs finally makes the tackle. The Spagnola is 6'4", 240.
Well, Spagnola and Downs are really getting to know each other in this first half, if they didn't already. It'll be 3rd down and long 2 for the Eagles with 7:25 to go in the half. Pressure and a blitz, and there he goes. Randy White. Dutton followed up, but it was Randy White, and that'll be the 2nd sack of the ball game for the Dallas Cowboys, and the Eagles will have to punt the ball.
Randy White again, number 54. Number 73 trying to block him, Steve Kinney. He makes an inside move, runs right by him, and makes the penetration and makes the tackle. But he's so quick. He's deceptively quick, strong, and also fast. That's a great combination. Plus the fact that he's got a great Valentine. He really loves to play.
Michael Horan will kick. Gary Allen is back for the Cowboys. Good punt again by Horan, sending Allen back to the 29-yard line. And he brings it out to the 42-yard line. Tackle made by Rich Kranek. That was a 12-yard return and a good 43-yard punt by Mike Horan. Of course, is in the backfield. Tony Dorsett, when he fumbled, suffered a concussion. He's not going to be back the rest of the first half, and hopefully the Cowboys will have him after intermission.
I'm surprised they haven't done much with Cosby so far.
At the 42, 1st and 10, and the pass is intercepted by the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's Wes Hopkins. We've had 5 turnovers, and Danny White, interception. Hopkins.
Watch Wes Hopkins come into the picture. What great anticipation. You talk about playing the center field position. Boy, he comes through there in great shape. White's got plenty of time to throw the football. He finally delivers the ball. The watch West comes right in. Great anticipation. Got a good jump on the ball and comes up for the interception. Number 48.
His third of the season, and Mike Renfro was the intended receiver right here, number 82.
Albert Fowles, number 29, is on the inside. But there's Wes Hopkins. Played his collegiate football at SMU, and he's one of the very, very best. And he deserves the right to play in that Pro Bowl this year.
And I think he likes playing against the Dallas Cowboys. First and 10 at the 48. Hubie Oliver in motion. Montgomery on the pitch. Looks like he may want to throw again. Now he's running for his life. But he gets into Dallas territory to the 48-yard line. Make it the 49. Good ad-lib by Wilbert Montgomery on the busted pass attempt. Lockhart and Hegman made the tackle on Wilbert.
There's a great illustration of experience. In most cases, when you ask the halfback to throw the ball, regardless, it's supposed to be an option, but regardless, they're going to throw the football regardless of what the situation is going to be. That time he exercised good judgment, had no chance whatsoever to deliver the throw, and kept it and tried to get as much out of the play as he possibly could. Good discretion on the part of Wilbert Montgomery.
And he picked up 4 yards. Second down and 6 at the Dallas 48. Here comes Hegman again, and Pisarcic's pass is overthrown. He was going for Vito Cab, but he was just trying to get rid of the ball, I'm sure. Downs was defending, but Hegman came storming in again, and Pisarcic is saying, I think I liked it better when I was watching from the sideline.
Well, that time, you know, there again, a good old pro. He knew he was going to get pressure, and he threw the ball away so he would avoid the sack. The one thing you don't want is wound up with 3rd and 20, 3rd and 18. That's where it's really murder.
You know, Ron Jaworski's record of 116 consecutive starts, longest active broken today. He wanted to come to the game and he couldn't, and we know he's watching this game. It's our best dude.
I called him before the game and he was sleeping. I talked to his wife and she said he'd get along fine.
Here's Tony Woodruff with a first down at the 38-yard line, an 11-yard pickup. Victor Scott, and finally Pisarcic finds someone else to throw to. That's Spagnola.
1-for-1 coverage. Woodruff breaks to the inside. Scott, number 22, didn't look like he saw the ball at all, was just satisfied to make the tackle, which he did. It's a good thing he did. Had he not made the tackle, it'd have been the bye-bye Blues. They'd have gone all the way.
And Michael Downs was blitzing on the play, so good reaction by Pisarcic. Tony Woodruff has caught 3 touchdown passes this year. It's 1st and 10 Philadelphia on the Dallas 38. 5:15 on the clock in the second quarter. Pisarcic swings it out to Oliver. Here comes Lockhart. And he had some help by Hegman as well, and a loss on the play.
He threw that ball poorly that time. He threw it over the wrong shoulder. As a result, Oliver had to turn around completely and get himself righted on the play. By the time he did that, school was out. He was tackled on the play.
And Tony Dorsett is now back out of the dressing room on the field. Tony Hill talking with him now, and of course, the Cowboys really hope that Tony feels he can do it in the second half. Loss on the play of 4 yards. Second down and 14. Back to the 42.
I'm impressed with the way Pisarcic is playing here this afternoon so far.
Flags fly, and might have been a problem, obviously, in the communication, the handoff between the center and the quarterback, and that may be 5 yards against the Eagles. Bob Frederick will tell us.
False start. Offense, number 9.
So it'll be second down and 19, the Eagles. And that's good coaching, I think, Hank, for a team not to be penalized so much. I think that's a feather in the cap for Marion Campbell's day.
No question about that. He's a disciplined guy, and yet he's a compassionate guy. He's got a good feel, relates to the players very, very well, but he knows what he wants to get done and gets it done very, very in good style.
Second and 19, back at the 47. The Eagles would like to get in position to at least try a field goal. Pisarcic going to try and pick up some yards right there. He was going for Spagnola. Bates defending on the play, incomplete.
Spagnola that time was backing up when the ball was in flight instead of coming back for the ball. Had he come back for the ball to the ball, he'd have had a chance to make the play. He was backing up, however, and had no chance whatsoever. Unusual for him because he makes that kind of a play very well.
John will be going out of the ball game now. Third down and 19. Woodruff, Kenny Jackson, and Mel Hoover are the 3 wide receivers in there. The Jackson and Hubert at the top of your screen.
Now they got a three-man rush, three-man line, I should say. And here's Randy White playing as a linebacker in the middle.
Sarchik completes the pass to Haddix at the 42-yard line. It'll be way short, and they're not going to be able to try the field goal, and Horan will come in to punt. Bill Bates and Everson Walls defend again. So defense continues to maintain the spotlight in this game.
And that time they had Randy White, as I mentioned to you. They have a three-man line, and he was off the line of scrimmage playing a middle linebacker, trying to get good penetration on a blitz situation. Horan should try to kick the ball to his right. He's a left-footed kicker. Should try to kick it to his right, because if it slides off his foot, it would go right down the middle of the field. If he tries to kick it left, it's liable to slide off his foot and be a bad kick. Let's see where he kicks it.
Listen to you. Gary Allen, fair catch. Let's see what kind of bounce it takes. Into the zone, touchback. And Dallas will take over 1st and 10. There've been 5 turnovers in the ball game. One of them resulted in the only touchdown we've had, a Dennis Thurman interception. Another fumble by Tony Dorsett resulted in a field goal, but the defenses have held. Well, of course, as we told you, Thursday night, the Washington Redskins defeated the Minnesota Vikings, holding off a late rally. Here, of course, the Cowboys lead the Eagles 7-3. The Giants are leading the Jets in the second quarter, and the Cardinals are over New England 20-3 in a big game for them. And we'll tell you about what's coming up next week.
And how about a great job that Archie Manning did last week against the Washington Redskins in the second half?
He's got to be in there now, wouldn't you think?
Yep, I would think so.
Here's Timmy Newsom going around the end to the 26-yard line. So you saw the scores as they affect the NFC East. Here are the standings. Washington, of course, having already won. Those are the division records. So if they end up in a tie, the division record would count. And right now the Giants have things in their own hands. The Giants will play in St. Louis in the first of our doubleheader next Sunday. Cardinals leading that game. Appears to be a very important battle. Some of you will see Green Bay and Chicago, those of you in the Midwest. And our Atlanta viewers will see the Falcons against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Tell you about the second game, and a big one after this play.
Again, I'm surprised they haven't used Cosby at all so far, and they're using his own defense. Usually the tight end is involved in that kind of a plan.
Timmy Newsom is stopped by Greg Brown. Good play by Greg Brown. It'll be 3rd down. And, of course, the second game of our NFL doubleheader, the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys, a big one as it always is now. That rivalry. Check your local listings. The second game next week, Hank.
That's always a dogfight, and of course, talking to Washington earlier in the week, they're very, very excited about playing the Cowboys. And of course, Philadelphia, talking to them and talking to Stockton. Stockton said, you know, the Eagles hate the Cowboys, and I don't blame them. That's what he said.
And the Redskins may hate them even more.
That's right.
Here's Jones. Close to a 1st down at the 30-yard line. Herman Edwards making the tackle. It was 3rd down and 5, and a good call by Danny White. James Jones off left tackle. And the Dallas Cowboys have a 1st down.
Watch number 62, Baldinger, blocking on the play, creates a big hole, and Jones, number 23, pops right through there for a nice game.
And when we say a good call by Danny White, of course, the play's coming in from the bench and Tom Landry, but Danny White has to execute it. We're having our 2-minute warning right now. 2 minutes remain in the first half at Veterans Stadium. It's been a defensive battle from the start. The Cowboys lead the Eagles 7-3. Second quarter, and Hank, we just saw Tom Landry sending in a running play on 3rd and 5 and getting a 1st down. And of course, you've been on the sidelines. What's the story with the plays coming in from the sideline?
Well, that's the nice thing about calling them from the sideline. You know, the coach calls those plays, and he understands and knows what the game plan is. Players really don't know. Just like Hill yesterday, he said, I really don't know what my role is going to be. I won't know until the game starts. I talked to Ernie Stottner. He said, I don't know what I'm going to call until the game's underway, and I get a feel of what's going on, then I'll call accordingly. So that's what happens with the game plan.
Long springs in motion. Newsom is the running back. 1st and 10. Danny White intercepted by Herman Edwards. If he held on to it. And now they say he did not, so it'll go as an incompleted pass. He did not have possession and very nearly picked that ball off, intended for Tony Hill, I believe.
Here again, great illustration of those gloves. I don't like the gloves, and I think maybe he might have caught the ball had he not had the gloves on. Look at, he's flopping the ball around, playing ping pong with it, and it finally falls incomplete.
Danny White is 5 of 15 for 45 yards. He has thrown 2 interceptions on the year. On the second down and 10, pressure. Jones, and Ken Clark made a terrific play. He's a nose tackle, and he was following the running back on the screen pass.
He was the cop on the play. He was the policeman, and we were right out there when he saw the guy ready to make the catch. He gave him a ticket. Knocked the ball down in great shape. A great play by Ken Clark, number 71.
You know, he has 8.5 sacks, and that's a lot for a nose tackle, but he told us at practice Friday, he said, you know, I used to be the designated pass rusher on the team when Charlie Johnson was the nose tackle, so he's been doing it.
Look at the size of him. You think he's big enough? Look at him. Number 71.
Like Patrick Ewing, he can do whatever he wants.
That's right.
Third down and 10 at the 31. Doug Donnelly, Tony Hill, Duriel Harris are the wide receivers. Hill out to the left for the Cowboys. White flushed out, being chased, and the pass is intercepted by Ray Ellis. Fumble. And now Dallas gets it back, and Hank, I think, an Eagle tried to run with it before instead of falling on it.
That's the thing. Don't be a hero. Fall on the ball. Just make sure we get possession with good field position. Don't try to pick it up, because usually they kick it around and never get to fall on the ball at all and wind up losing possession. I've really never seen Danny White have this kind of an afternoon. He's really had a bad afternoon. He threw this ball, had no chance whatsoever on the move. He's running to the right, throwing it back across the grain. The only guy that's open is Ellis, number 24. He makes the interception, runs down the sideline. Hill is in hot pursuit. He doesn't, he cuts back to the inside, gets hit from the backside by Springs. The ball is knocked loose, and there it is. And you see Harvey Armstrong, 96. He tries to be a hero, pick it up and run with it. He should have just fallen on the ball.
Here's Timmy Newsome carrying the ball on first down with 1:25 showing. Herb Scott recovered the fumble for the Dallas Cowboys. We have had 7 turnovers, as you see, in the first half of this ball game, and Danny White has thrown 3 interceptions, but the 1 interception thrown by Joe Pisarcik resulted in the touchdown. And there's Herb Scott making his 3rd start at left tackle for Howard Richards. He made the recovery. Under a minute to go in the first half. Newsome again to the 28-yard line, 2 yards shy of a first down. Evan Cooper makes the play.
You know, I talked to Dennis Harrison. We both talked to him yesterday and asked him why the defense has improved so much and why the rush has been so much better. He said, you know, we were insulted by the St. Louis Cardinal quarterback, Neil Lomax. When we played him the last time, he said that he had enough time to throw the ball, to eat a sandwich and drink a Coke. That really infuriated us, and we've been much, much better since then.
They don't like to hear that.
No, I don't think they do.
Bill Pozderac comes in at right tackle on passing down. Here is Ron Springs, first down for the Dallas Cowboys, and goes out of bounds with 14 seconds showing on the clock. An 11-yard pickup to the 40-yard line. Coming up at halftime, the NFL Today, Brent Nerve will have scores and highlights, and of course, Opportunity Knox, meaning Chuck Knox, the Seattle Seahawks, who have done so well in heading for the playoffs. Again, in a terrific defensive team. Seconds to go, 1st and 10. Danny White drills it, incomplete. Doug Donnelly was the intended receiver. 9 seconds remain.
There's another illustration of how well they covered from their zone defense, and there again, they're watching the receivers more than they are the quarterback, and they respond very, very well to what they see.
Very fine secondary. Ellis and Hopkins, the 2 safeties, have already picked off Danny White passes today. Reggie Wilkes, the linebacker, had the other interception. Eagles, as usual, going to the air a lot. 2nd and 10. Dallas struggling that way. swings, changes direction. And he's down at the 49-yard line as the first half to a close. Nope, 1 second showing. And the Cowboys call a timeout with 1 second to go, so we'll have one last play. Danny White will go to the sidelines to talk to Tom Landry. And White, by the way, Hank, has thrown 7 straight passes without a completion.
Very unusual for him. It really is. I think what they might do here is put maybe 3 wide receivers on one side, or either balance the formation with 2 on each side and throw the ball deep downfield and hope maybe they get into pass interference or they get some kind of a tip ball to make some kind of a big play before the half.
Why the timeout now and not the other times that they had an opportunity?
There again, that's just up to the quarterback and up to the coach. You never know what the strategy is, really. I'm surprised they didn't want to take one before now, but here again, at least they got one more shot. Maybe that's what they're going to do.
Well, with 1 second left, I don't think we're going to see the timeouts a factor anymore. It'll be 3rd down and 2, which is also not a factor, with 1 second to go.
You either decide you're going to sit in the football and forget about it, or try to get the ball downfield, and I think it's worth the gamble. If it's intercepted, so what? The half is over with, and you might always come up. You always have a chance to make a big play. If you lay on the ball, you got no chance whatsoever.
3 wide receivers for the Cowboys.
Here they come.
Hill, Harris, and Renfro, and all lined up on the same side. Cosby is at the right at the top of the screen. Last play of the first half, barring a penalty on the Eagles. Danny White, Hail Mary, knocked down by Herman Edwards as the first half comes to an end. Well, the Cowboys are in for a struggle here. The Eagles defense giving them everything they can handle, but then Dallas defense is not allowed a touchdown. 7-3. We'll be back with Brent in the NFL Today. Hank Stram back in Philadelphia. The Cowboys lead 7-3 at the half, and of course the Cowboys got the touchdown on a 38-yard interception returned by Dennis Thurman. 7 turnovers in the first half. Danny White, Hank, has thrown 3 interceptions. So the question is this a defensive-dominated game, or is it the fact that the offense just hasn't been able to click?
It's been a combination of both things. I think anytime you have this kind of a game, you have to realize that the offense is not doing a good job, and I'm really surprised at Danny White. I'm a great fan of his, and I've seen him play so many great games, but he's been very, very poor in the first half, and I wonder whether or not he'll play in the second half, and he might go to Hogaboom. On the other hand, I think that the Philadelphia defense has been really outstanding. Great hitting. The Cowboy defense has been very, very good, and I think Pisarcik has had a very, very good half for a guy that hasn't played for a long time.
That's not an easy situation for Joe Pisarcik to be in, despite the fact that, as we said, he's been in the league for 11 years. And the thing is, it's a tight ball game, 7-3. We'll see what transpires when we come back to Philadelphia. The Dallas Cowboys will be kicking off to the Philadelphia Eagles as we start the third quarter. Here at Veterans Stadium, there's Tony Dorsett, who suffered a mild concussion, did not return to the game early in the second when he fumbled. And, of course, that turnover set up Philadelphia's only points, the Paul McFadden 23-yard field goal, 7-3 ball game. And to talk about the lack of offense and the dominating defense, whichever you prefer, each team is averaging only 3 yards per offensive play, and that's awfully low. Tom Landry, who will go on, continue on coaching. What did he tell us yesterday, Hank? He says, I don't know how the players feel about it. I'm glad I've made up my mind to end the speculation. I don't know how they felt.
And the other thing, he's very honest about his team. He said, we're not like we used to be. We have to play hard every play and every game, or else we're not going to win. It isn't like it used to be back in the old days when we had such good personnel and just had to pump the ball up, screw the hats on, and go out there and play. It's different now. Marion
Campbell, on the other hand, has to feel real good. He told us the other day, he says, we went through a very tough period when we lost 3 games in a row around mid-season. He said, we've met well the last 3 weeks against good, tough teams. And I don't think anybody except another coach or on a coaching staff realizes what a great selling job that is when you've lost 3 to sell your team and the idea that you can come back and win. That's what he and his staff has been able to do, and they deserve a lot of credit. You've seen the principals and the kickoff now. Rafael Septien will be booting it, and Evan Cooper will be at the goal line. He is flanked by Ray Ellis and Andre Waters. Set to play. Keep in mind that the Cowboys have won 3 in a row here at Veterans Stadium, or 3 in a row against Philadelphia, 2 straight actually, here at Veterans Stadium. The kick heading for Evan Cooper, and it goes about 2 yards in the end zone. Cooper hit by Bates, shy of the 20-yard line. They'll mark it at about the 17 or 18-yard line. Well, this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Philadelphia Eagles and the National Football League is prohibited. Well, the Eagles managed, Hank, only 28 yards rushing in the first half, 27 of them by Wilbert Montgomery.
Well, we said earlier, the Stockton said, we'll be ready to play, and we're going to do a good job defensively, and they've done that so far.
And Pisarcik's numbers, not bad at all. He's had one intercepted. Ball at the 18. Hubie Oliver, the lone setback. Pisarcik hit by Ed Jones. He had 2 sacks against the Patriots. He leads the Cowboys in forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, knockdowns, you name it. He's in the picture, it seems, all the time. You know, Dutton and Jones, they've been around a long time. In fact, Dutton was the oldest Cowboy at 34 years old. He's 3 weeks older than Ed Jones.
And Jones is 6'9", and Mitchell is 6'7", and usually big guys like to play against big guys. Big guys do not like to play against a shorter guy because they're much quicker usually and have better leverage.
Haddix is the running back now and gets the call. Doesn't go far. Shy of the 20, picks up maybe a yard. Eugene Lockhart making the tackle. Eugene Lockhart is playing middle linebacker. Bob Runick on injured reserve at the back. And, of course, Lockhart, a rookie, 6th-round pick out of Houston, told us yesterday, never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I'd be starting this year for the Cowboys.
Yeah, but talking to Gil Brandt yesterday talked about what a great attitude he has. And it's very obvious talking to him because he's very, very happy about being able to play. He thought maybe at first he would maybe be able to contribute on the specialty teams. Had no idea he'd be able to start. And he's really done a great, great job.
3rd down and 9 at the 19. Extra wide receiver in there for Pisarcik. And the running back Montgomery just drops it. That's concentration or a lack of. And it'll be 4th down. That's twice today that Wilbert has dropped a pass right there.
I think that's what happens when you try to use your body to make that kind of a catch. You have to catch it out in front with your hands, and he's letting it go through the hands and hitting his shoulder pads and it bouncing right out. That's what's happening on those catches, or lack of catches.
Yeah. 6th kick for Haran, and Gary Allen is back. There's a high snap. They weren't rushing. A fine kick again by Haran. Allen picks it up. Good block. Penalty flags are down. Maybe in the neighborhood of a illegal block. A 48-yard kick by Haran, and Allen made the most of the return as he brings it back to the 39-yard line. We'll call it the 40-yard line. We'll sort out the penalty. Penalty against the Dallas Cowboys, and they'll mark it off.
Illegal block on the kick return team, number 40. 1st down.
We've only had 3 penalties in the ball game. That was on Bill Bates, the first one against the Dallas Cowboys. So it'll be 1st and 10 Dallas on their 28-yard line. 7-3, the Cowboys lead the Eagles.
You know, one thing about a good quarterback like Danny White, he might have a couple of bad quarters, but you have to go on the fact that he probably will not have 4 bad quarters, and that's why I'm sure he's still in the game.
And Tony Dorsett is in the game, and that's good news for the Cowboys. And will carry the ball on 1st down, gets a block, turns the corner, 1st down for Dorsett as he takes a lick from Wes Hopkins and winds up on the Dallas bench. Doug Donnelly set the good block. 14-yard pickup by Tony.
And that's a great illustration. Look at his cutting ability. Goes right straight ahead at the line of scrimmage and then breaks laterally to the line of scrimmage, breaks to the outside. Look at his hit by Hopkins. Boy, you don't think he's a great safety man. He's big and he's strong and he really thumps you.
Tony Dorsett has now gone over the 1,000-yard mark for the 7th time in 8-year career. He needed 21 and he has 25.
On 5 carries, he's averaged 5 yards a clip.
1st and 10 at the 43. Dorsett pass. Want to throw the ball. He's got Renfro, and it's picked off. Hopkins, his 2nd of the ball game, and brings it back to the 48-yard line. That's the 5th turnover by the Dallas Cowboys and the 2nd interception by Wes Hopkins in the ball game, and he runs that back 26 yards.
Here's the pitch. He runs to the right, stops, and throws the ball down the field. He had to stop and try to come back for the ball. Hopkins sees the play, reads it well, gets a good jump, and sucks it right out of the air. Makes a good return, and Philadelphia has possession. Well, Renfrew starts to look over his right shoulder, then his left shoulder. By the time it gets there, however, it was up in the air too long. That's the only problem with it. You can't hang the ball up there that long. I think any time that you throw the ball deep in the middle area, the defensive back can cover at least 20 yards while that ball is in the air.
4 interceptions on the year for Wes Hopkins. Eagles have it 1st and 10 on the Cowboy 48-yard line. Less than 2 minutes gone by, 3rd quarter. Another turnover, the 5th of the game by Dallas, and Hubie Oliver busts off the left side to the 42-yard line. A good gain on 1st down. This is what the Dallas Cowboys have done when they've had the ball. The field position hasn't been all that bad, but look at the interception. They've had their problems. Of course, Danny White has thrown 3, and Tony Dorsett threw that last one. Question is, Hank, can Philadelphia capitalize?
They got off to a good start with that last straight-ahead shot. I think you'll find that if they go straight ahead rather than sideways, they move the ball much better.
2nd down and 4 at the Cowboy 42. Montgomery gets inside the 40, shy of a 1st down by about a yard. Michael Downs and Eugene Lockhart making the tackle. So the Cowboys, as we've mentioned, have turned the ball over a great deal, and they've been hurt only once, and that was the field goal. 5 turnovers, 3 points coming out of it. And for the Eagles, of course, a touchdown resulting on an interception early. 3rd down and 2. Pisarcik, 11 of 22. Spagnola caught 8 passes in the 1st half for 95 yards. He goes in motion. And here's Haddix. Michael Haddix close to the 1st down. Let's see where they spot the ball.
There again, they had to take the ball from the right side of the ball all the way over to the left side. They haven't been able to do that in the game so far, and I'm surprised they came right back with it again. I don't know whether they made the 1st down or not, but it's a long way to go and a long way for those people to hold the blocks on that kind of a situation on short yardage.
They did not make it. It'll be 4th down, and the Eagles are going to go for it. Lockhart and Scott made the tackle. So Marion Campbell making the decision here early in this 3rd quarter, trailing 7-3, go for it 4th and 1.
Yeah, that's a good decision. He's got to go for it.
He's got 3 tight ends. Cav and Sampleton join Spagnola.
Outside left would be a good place to go. They're in the gaps.
Here's Haddix, and he should have the 1st down. Tony Hill is saying no. See where they put the ball down, and we're going to have a measurement. Jones and Lockhart were right there for Haddix, and it's going to be close, Hank.
It's going to be close, but really they had a great advantage on the outside left. They had everybody inside except Fellows on the outside. It could have been very effective, but they went to the right side, and it's going to be close.
Inches either way. You saw Ted Marchibroda shaking his head on the sideline saying, well, this is too close for us to call. There's Ted Marchibroda to the right of Marion Campbell. Let's see if the gamble paid off. Hindsight's 20/20, isn't it? He missed by inches. The Cowboys hold defensively and will take over in good field position at the 38-yard line.
Boy, there again.
You're going to measure it again.
Measure it again.
Is this a recount?
But with everybody being in the gaps
He missed it.
Yeah, everybody being in the gaps like they were, boy, that's a tough place to run.
They should have listened to you, Coach.
Of course, if I knew anything about it, I'd be down there instead of being up here.
I'd rather you be up here. Campbell going for the 4th and 1. Falls short, and now the Cowboys on their 59-yard line, 1st and 10, 7-3 Dallas leading Philadelphia. Timmy Newsom or Tony Dorsett hemmed in, gets by Wilkes, and Elbert fouls and picks up about 4 yards. Right now for an NFL Today report, here's Brent Musburger.
Dick, the Giants are dominating the Jets right now. They've made it 17-0. Joe Morris ran in from 8 yards out, his 4th touchdown of the season. It is all Giants in the battle for New York. Back to Dick.
All right, thank you very much, Brent. Of course, Washington won Thursday, and the Giants are winning big, and the Cardinals are winning big, Hank. Dallas is in the fight right now.
They really are in a fight, and they really haven't been able to generate any kind of an offense consistently here this afternoon at all, and I'm surprised they haven't hit Cosby.
Well, they hit Tony Hill, and Tony Hill, they get Ron Springs. Sorry, Ron Springs goes in for the touchdown. Cosby's going to have to wait his turn. This is a 57-yard pass to the back, coming out of the backfield. Ron Springs, a touchdown, and the offense finally scores for Dallas. They had not scored in over 10 quarters.
Well, you talk about a big play and lightning striking. Good protection. Throws the ball inside. Tony hit. It's not Tony Hill. It's Ron Springs, number 20. And he breaks it clean all the way for the touchdown. A big play for the Dallas Cowboys.
3rd touchdown reception for Ron Springs. And now Rafael Septien with Hogaboom holding. The kick is good, and it is now 14-3 in favor of the Dallas Cowboys. And all it's taken is one big play, and the Cowboys have opened up an 11-point lead. Ron Springs, who lost his starting job to Timmy Newsom in the last game against the Patriots, comes back and makes the big play here in the 3rd quarter. Ron Springs, 57 yards, and it's 14-3. The Dallas Cowboys lead the Philadelphia Eagles, and Septien will be kicking off. Andre Waters is now the man in the middle on the receiving end, back for the Eagles. It's quiet now in Veterans Stadium. There's Evan Cooper, who's over to the right, but the man in the middle, Andre Waters. Waters bobbles it 2 yards in the end zone, and will take it there for the touchback. And the Eagles will bring it out to the 21st and 10. Next Saturday, college basketball comes your way on CBS Sports. Nevada, Las Vegas, one of the top teams in the West, will come east for a showdown with top-ranked Georgetown. Patrick Ewing, considered by many to be the premier player in college basketball, in action in the first real test for Georgetown as they continue their quest to repeat as national champions. Next Saturday, 1 o'clock Eastern, right here on CBS Sports. Penalty marker down. It's against Philadelphia, holding, and they're going to bring it back.
You know, talking about Pat Ewing, we kidded about him being a tight end. Years ago, I had a football camp at Kutcher's Country Club in New York, and we had Wilt Chamberlain, and he was playing for the Philadelphia Sixers at that time, and he was talking about, I said, gee, you ought to play professional ball. He's thinking about playing pro ball or boxing, and I thought he'd be a great tight end. He said, no, I don't want to be a tight end. I want to be the quarterback.
Ed Jones wouldn't be batting down his passes, that's for sure. 1st and 10, back at the 10-yard line. Pisarcik play action, rushed and down for a safety. Let's see where they mark it. Yes, it's a safety. John Dutton gets credit for it. And Pisarcik tackled in his own end zone. And tacked 2 more points on the Dallas board. It's now 16-3, and Pisarcik might have been shaken up a bit. 3rd sack of the ball game by Dallas.
Watch Dutton, number 78, breaks to the inside and comes right up the alley unmolested, and sacks Joe Pisarcik. Safety, 2 points.
And Dallas will get the ball back on a free kick situation from the Eagles. You know, maybe that touchdown pass to Ron Springs was just what the doctor ordered for the Cowboys, because you looked at the emotion after Springs scored the touchdown, and they've been kind of lethargic. The Cowboys have in many respects a couple of weeks ago against Buffalo, and this seemed to get them going in the right direction.
Well, they've always been so capable of making big plays. They haven't made many of them so far this season, but they surely came up with a big one with 2 Ron Springs, and they've changed the personality of this game, it seems, totally.
And, of course, this NFC Eastern Division race really heating up with all of the 4 out of the 5 clubs winning or having won or heading for victories. There is Mike Horan, Gary Allen, and Chuck McSwain. Allen on the left. We have 10 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 16-3 the score now in favor of Dallas. McSwain inside the 30-yard line. Gives ground. Major Everett. Sampleton. Good recovery by McSwain as he gets to the 30-yard line where Brenard Wilson makes the tackle. The Giants leading the Jets 17-0. Cardinals ahead of the New England Patriots 27-10 in the third quarter. Washington having won Thursday, and of course Dallas now leading 16-3. Here's the story. Next week the Giants against St. Louis. Cardinals can still win the division, by the way. We'll be there at Busch Stadium. Some of you in the Midwest will see Green Bay against Chicago. Second game of the doubleheader, the Redskins and the Cowboys. First and 10 at the 30. Dorsett. Jerry Robinson, among others, making the tackle at the 31-yard line.
The Eagles are really chasing as soon as they see the ball released or handed to the running back. As a result, I think some kind of a misdirection, some kind of a reverse. Once they get better field position, Dick could be very effective because they're really chasing like gangbusters.
Of course, the Eagles have to be shaking their heads on the sidelines. The defense has given them 5 opportunities, and they've only been able to capitalize once on a field goal. So a lot of opportunities gone by the boards for the Philadelphia Eagles today, and now they trail 16-3. Second and 9 at the 31-yard line. Play action. Danny White has some time. He's going deep for Tony Hill, and Herman Edwards intercepts for the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Cowboys continue to give the Philadelphia Eagles more opportunity. For Danny White, his 4th interception, the 5th against the Cowboys in the 6th turnover.
Tony Hill on Herman Edwards. There you see him. He's looking at the quarterback and then looking at the receiver and sees the ball is thrown. He gets a jump on it. The ball is underthrown, and Herman Edwards is able to make the interception.
Second interception of the season for Herman Edwards. Hopkins has 2, Ellis has 1, Wilkes has 1, but Philadelphia has not done anything offensively, thanks to Dallas's D. Having a miserable game statistically. Of course, he threw that touchdown pass, and the Cowboys are winning 16-3, and that's where they pay off. First and 10 Eagles on their 34-yard line. UB Oliver is the lone back. Pisarcik's pass batted down by Jones. Second down.
You know, I think anytime that you play a guy against a tall defensive end like Jones, who is as active as he is, and you want to throw the ball in front of the defensive back, I think it's very important that you block down with your tight end to get the defensive gets his hands down and then throw over the top. You can't throw over the top if you just block him straight ahead with an offensive tackle.
Jones has knocked down 11 of those this year, and that's his career best. 12 is his career best. Second and 10 on the 34. Pisarcik. And there is Jim Jeffcoat getting into the act. 4th sack of the ball game. One of them was a safety, and now Jim Jeffcoat. Randy White has 2. Dutton had the safety. Jeffcoat there, and Jones has batted down a lot of passes.
Jeffcoat makes an inside move, an inside stunt, gets by the center Denard, and as a result makes the sack on Joe Pisarcik. And this is a tough time to be the quarterback when they know you have to throw to play catch-up football and get back in the game. Boy, the smoke is coming out of their ears and their nose, and they're really eager to rush the passer, and that's what they're doing right now.
Last week, 10 sacks on Tony Eason, the most they've had in 9 years. They've got 4 right now. It is 3rd down and 21. Back at the 23-yard line. The Sarchik's pass knocked away by Klinkscale, intended for Mel Hoover. And it'll be 4th down, punting. I didn't know they booed in Philadelphia, but I think they're booing right now, Henry. Did you ever know them to do that here?
You might have a scoop if you didn't know. They don't boo anything.
Yeah. My tongue is embedded deeply in my cheek as I say that.
Yeah, I know.
4th down. Moran, the kick. Allen is back. Moran has been kicking well today, and this is another good punt. Allen back at the 25. Brings it out to about the 37-yard line. Well, the month of December, we've got 3 NCAA basketball games for you featuring the nation's top teams. We told you about next Saturday, UNLV against Georgetown, the #1 ranked team, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Then in 2 weeks, Georgetown makes another appearance against the DePaul Blue Demons, and they're going to be a big contender this year. That'll be 3:45 Eastern. And then on December 22nd, UCLA against St. John's. Walter Berry, a fine junior college transfer, joins Chris Mullen, the All-American and Olympian. 1st and 10 at the 37 for the Cowboys. .8:23 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Dorsett, nothing on the play. 2nd down.
Well, you have to give the Eagle defense a lot of credit. They've really played very aggressively this afternoon. Of course, the Dallas Cowboys have played the same way.
Winding down to 8 minutes remaining. Here are the turnovers today and what's happened. Second and 9. A fine junior college transfer joins Chris Mullen, the All-American and Olympian. 1st and 10 at the 37 for the Cowboys. .8:23 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Dorsett, nothing on the play. 2nd down.
Well, you have to give the Eagle defense a lot of credit. They've really played very aggressively this afternoon. Of course, the Dallas Cowboys have played the same way.
Winding down to 8 minutes remaining. Here are the turnovers today and what's happened. Second and 9. Dorsett gets by Wilkes and picks up good yardage. About 8 yards on the play. Elbert Fowles makes the stop on Tony Dorsett.
That's a great advantage of running from the deep set, like the I formation. He's back there about 7 yards deep. He went straight into the line of scrimmage and then veered to the right, parallel to the line of scrimmage, and stretched a loss or maybe a 1 or 2 yard gain into about one that's about 7 or 8 yards. That's what the great runners are able to do, and Dorsett certainly fits into that category.
It'll be 3rd and 1 at the 46-yard line. Dorsett coming off and now comes back in and stays in the game. 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 16-3 the Cowboys lead. And here's Dorsett. He's close. 1st down, Dallas. This Gary Hogeboom on the sidelines. Of course, we repeat, Danny White struggling today statistically, but it's 16-3 on the scoreboard, and that's where it pays off.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's really important, and I'm sure that's what Tom Landry and the feel. We're winning the game. The only thing that really matters is win the game, and they're winning the game. And so evidently, that's why Danny White is still in the contest.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Flags fly. They still had 6 seconds on the 30-second clock. Here's Bob Frederick.
False start. Number 79 on the offense. 1st down.
That's John Hunt, the rookie from Florida. who's playing the right guard position. Brian Baldinger is at right tackle, except on passing situations when Phil Pozderac comes in, and Baldinger moves over to back to guard, his natural position. First and 15, back at the 43-yard line. Cowboys defense been the foundation of their 8-5 record coming into this game. Doing it again. Here's Dorsett off the left side. Good cutback in the Philadelphia territory. And he gets to the 46-yard line. About 3 yards shy of a first down. Ray Ellis from the secondary, and Joel Williams, the right outside backer, makes the stop. 11 more yards for Dorsett.
Joel Williams is really having a great year. He's not very large. He's 6'1", 220, but he's very active, very quick. Played off the block in good shape that last time and made the tackle.
Got his reputation as a blitzing backer with Atlanta with a lot of sacks, and now he's pretty good just all-around linebacker, not so much as a blitzer. Here's Dorsett going outside again, reversing. Look at what he does. Tony Dorsett, what a run. That's the best run of the day. Gets a first down, changes direction, got 13 yards out of it. Wow.
That's a great illustration of vision and runability. Look at that. He runs straight over to the left side, breaks to the outside, stops. Said, no, we don't want to go there. And he goes back the other way, sees a seam inside, and breaks right up the middle. A fantastic run by Tony Dorsett. He's finally tackled there by Wes Hopkins, number 48.
And he gets a breather. James Jones is in for him, 66 yards. Keep in mind, Dorsett has never had a 100-yard gain here in Philadelphia.
You might see a play-action pace here. No, they're going to run it again.
Newsome to the 25, picks up 8 yards, and now Dallas is running well against the Eagles.
They really are. You know, and coming into this game, we talked to Marion Campbell, and he said it's amazing. We got to stop their play-action passes. He counted about 15 the last time we played them. We've got a real 400-foot reel of play-action passes since the last time we played them. They haven't used the play-action pass that much here this afternoon.
Yeah, 38 yards for Philadelphia. That's been their Achilles heel all year.
Oh, that's right. And you think that they would be able to run better than they have here this afternoon, but that's a great compliment, again, to the Dallas Cowboy defensive line.
Second down and 2. The ball at the Philadelphia 25-yard line. Here's Timmy Newsome. Has a first down to the 20 and to the 19-yard line. Clock running, under 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. A lot of the starch has come out of the Philadelphia Eagles here in this quarter. They've had a couple of chances with 2 interceptions. But a 4th and 1 backfired for the Eagles, and Dallas scored on a touchdown pass and then got a safety.
Of course, the other drop pass in the end zone hurt them too.
That's true. First and 10 at the 19. Renfro goes wide to the right and Donnelly to the left. Jones is hit and knocked for a loss of a couple. Reggie Wilkes and Anthony Griggs both in on the play. The Eagles have been in a lot of tough encounters this year. Forget they lost to Miami in Miami by 1 point on an extra point miss. Lost to the Cardinals by a point last week. Tony Dorsett back in the lineup. He had 11 yards in the first half, out much of the time. 55 this third quarter alone. Play action, roll out, White's toss, knocked away nicely. Terrific play by Ray Ellis. Timmy Newsome was headed for the end zone if he had caught it.
And that time Danny White had a pretty good chance to run the ball for a big play too. Here's a play action fake. This is the play the Washington Redskins used so successfully. One guard pulls to the right, the other one pulls to the left. Danny White goes to the outside, and he throws the ball inside, but it's deflected, knocked down by Ellis, number 24, Raymond Ellis.
He's had a fine game with an interception, a hard hit, forced a fumble. Dorsett fumble in the first half that had knocked him out of the game. It'll be third down and 11. The ball at the 20. 2:37 on the clock. Here comes a blitz. White hits his man, and now they say yes. If the reception is made inside the 10 by Mike Renfro, Herman Edwards defending on the play in well-executed pattern.
And Renfro runs that pattern as well as anybody in the league. He's got great moves. They got him in a safety blitz, double safety blitz. He got rid of the ball quickly, throws it to the outside. Mike Renfro, number 82, makes the play in front of Herman Edwards, number 46.
He has a career high for receiving yards this season. And it is first and goal at the 8, so a big third down play by Danny White and the Cowboys, threatening to add to their 16-3 lead here. First and goal at the 8. Newsom to the 5. Newsom is in for the touchdown. Hard running by Timmy Newsom, and is now 22-3 Dallas.
He's got a very deceptive gait. He's big, 6'1", 235, but he doesn't look that big. He's a very smooth runner and very strong. Here we see him, low end zone. Look at this. He breaks to the outside in good shape, carries the ball away from pressure, so he has the right arm and right shoulder free. Look at this. Look at him use the shoulder. You don't see that happen very often, and he runs Edwards right into the end zone and goes in for the touchdown. A good finishing run by Timmy Newsom.
Third touchdown of the season rushing. Hogerboom holding for Septien. The kick is perfect and is now 23-3. This was a 7-3 game at the half, but the Cowboys, with good defense, quick striking offense, lead 23-3. 3 to score. The Dallas Cowboys leading. Finally breaking out of their problems. You're looking at the scoring drive. Their problems on offense getting points. That was a drive that used 6 minutes and 10 seconds, capped by Timmy Newsom's 8-yard run. Raphael Septien kicking off. Evan Cooper is back for the Philadelphia Eagles. Septien, by the way, has scored in 116 games in a row. That's the longest active streak. Cooper at the 4-yard line, running it back for Philadelphia. And hit hard by Steve Diassi, the rookie from Boston College. Next Saturday, the San Francisco 49ers, many people think they'll be the NFC representative in the Super Bowl. I'm sure Joe Gibbs, Washington Redskins watching, think otherwise, plus the Cowboys and a few others. But the 49ers will be on display against the Vikings following the NFL Today, 12:30 Eastern next Saturday, Hank. Joe Montana, and of course the running backs. Wendell Tyler and Roger Craig. First and 10, Pisarcic's pass caught by Spagnola at the 21. Gain of 5. Lockhart and Hegeman make the tackle. There's the total offense story. Look at that. Minus 11 for Philadelphia here in the second half. It was 7-3. That was the score at halftime.
Great illustration of how important it is to have balance. Even though you play well defensively, you better be able to move the football and get some points, or else you're going to be in trouble. And that's really been the trouble with the Philadelphia Eagles here this afternoon.
Second down and 5 at the 21-yard line. Pisarcic dropped again by Montgomery. He's had trouble today. That's the third time.
Third time he's dropped it, and usually he's a very sure-handed receiver. Really comes into the game with 50 catches, and so to drop 3 here this afternoon, very, very unusual.
On the brighter side, John Spagnola has a career high 9 catches today, and really he has been the sum total of the Philadelphia offensive effort, really. Third and 5 with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go in the third quarter.
7 defensive backs in the game.
Pisarcik going up on top for Woodruff, overthrows him, and it'll be 4th down. But right now, for an NFL Today report, let's check in with Brent Musburger in New York. Brent, what do you have?
Dick, we've got 13:45 left in the Meadowlands, and the Jets have just scored on this touchdown pass. Ken O'Brien goes to Lamb Jones. Watch the run after the catch. Breaks a tackle, gets back on the outside, and goes in. Back to Dick.
Thank you, Brent. So the Jets coming back. The Giants still leading, though, in that very important game. 4th down, Mike Horan. High kick, sending Allen way back inside the 30, and he steps out of bounds at the 26-yard line. That was a 53-yard punt by Mike Horan. Next Saturday, the NFL Today. Football, the state of the game, from the competition between the goalposts to the competition on the airways. And you'll hear from some of the principals involved, including NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle. And you'll also learn the results of a CBS Sports New York Times poll on what the fans think. That's next Saturday beginning at 3:30 Eastern on the NFL Today. First and 10 at the 27 for the Cowboys. Ron Springs, who caught the touchdown pass in motion. Dorsett up the middle, slices his way to the 32. Hank, been hearing so much about the state of the... What is your opinion on the state of the NFL, right? You have an opinion about that.
Well, I think it's no different than it always is. I think the teams that win, their situation is great. The teams that lose, they have a bad situation. That's simple. So the only problem you have is, win the game, and then everything is very, very good.
And I think that's true, Hank, the way it is. As far as teams winning and losing, there may be other things that the commissioner will talk about in the poll concerning television ratings and so forth. But
the people in San Francisco, they feel good about their situation. People in Miami feel the same way. It's just that way all around the country with teams that are winning.
Tony Dorsett may have another first down for the Dallas Cowboys. The clock runs, 19 seconds to go. Reggie Wilkes makes the tackle for the Eagles. It has been the third quarter owned by the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Dorsett going over 1,000 yards. 16-0, the Cowboys outscored them. We now pause for a word from your local station. We start the fourth quarter. This is Dick Stockton along with Hank Stram at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. The Cowboys lead the Eagles 23-3. They have a 3rd down and 1 on the 36. Newsome and Norm Granger now the running backs. And here is Timmy Newsome, first down, Dallas. And the people, very nice here at Veterans Stadium, Hank, welcoming us. And it's always good to come back to the hometown. First and 10 at the 38-yard line. The Eagles, very much in the ball game, but not often you get a chance with 6 turnovers on the part of the Dallas Cowboys, and they just couldn't take advantage of it. And the Cowboys then said, wait, we've got to put this game out of hand, and they've done that. Tony Dorsett in there. In motion is Cosby. Here is Ron Springs. Tripped up. Wes Hopkins, along with Joel Williams, making the tackle. Let's check some scores for you right now. Cardinals lead the Patriots 27-10 in the third quarter. Big game for the Cardinals. They're in the race. The Giants over the Jets 20-10. You saw the last Jet highlight from Brent. They're in the fourth quarter.
San Francisco 28, Atlanta 17. Atlanta still struggling.
49ers who get the home field edge for all of their playoff games.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 14-7 against Green Bay.
Well, Green Bay was really on a roll, and then the Lions beat them Thanksgiving Day. Now Tampa Bay beating them. 2nd and 10 at the 38. Springs in motion. Dorsett now. Hit by Anthony Griggs, but not before he crosses to the 42-yard line. Denver leading Kansas City.
A lot closer game than everybody thought it might be. And Indianapolis 12 and Buffalo 21 in the third quarter.
Pittsburgh, Houston.
13-13. Houston's playing much, much better near the end of the season. And Cleveland 17. Well, that's a surprise. Cleveland 17-7 over Cincinnati in the fourth quarter.
3rd down and 6 for the Cowboys. Defense has not allowed a touchdown today. Danny White. Good catch by James Jones and a first down into Philadelphia territory. At the 47-yard line, Ray Ellis making the tackle.
And they had Jones that time on Hopkins, and he got the ball right on the money. And remember what I said earlier. I think that anytime you're a quarterback of Danny White's caliber, I think you might, any quarterback, good quarterback. Maybe he'll have a bad quarter or bad 2 quarters, maybe bad 3, but they're not going to have bad 4 quarters very often, and I think that's what the case has been here, although really the big difference in the game has been the play of the defense of the Dallas Cowboys.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. 4 sacks in the game, including a safety. Here's Dorsett finding a hole. Another first down for the Cowboys, and they're rolling now, the Dallas Cowboys. Wes Hopkins making the tackle. Good block by Ron Springs, and that was a 12-yard pickup. Tony Dorsett had his best career effort as a rookie against the Philadelphia Eagles back in 1977. He gained 206 yards. He's got 91 so far in this game, and he has never gone over 100 yards here in Philadelphia in his career. So he's got a shot. 1st and 10 at the 36. Here's Ron Springs cutting back inside to the 32-yard line. Dennis Harrison and Ray Ellis, the tackle.
Dick, the other thing that's impressive here this afternoon, and especially in the second half, coming into the game, the Cowboys average 102 yards rushing per game. That's what they average. They've already run for 149 so far in the 4th quarter.
And they're using up the time and playing that ball control. As you pointed out, that's the way they have to go. Not a big play team. That 57-yard pass play was not a long pass.
But they like to run the ball because they like to throw play-action passes so much, and they haven't thrown many of those so far in this game.
Here's Ron Springs straight ahead, close to another first down, near the 25-yard line. Short, as Tony Hill tells us, by less than a yard. Well, the Giants are winning, and the Cardinals are winning. And next week, those two teams will collide. The Giants against the Cardinals, and look at that race. If the Giants and Cowboys hold their leads, we'll have a 3-way tie, and St. Louis will be 1 game behind at 8-6. So it's still up for grabs in the NFC East. 4 teams in contention for the title, not to mention wild cards. And next week, we'll be in St. Louis for the Giants-Cardinals game, part of the first game of the CBS doubleheader. The second game, Dallas and Washington. So, Hank, something's going to give next week for sure in that NFC East race.
Yeah, it'll be like the 4th of July next week in St. Louis. There'll be a lot of fireworks.
Not to mention Dallas hosting the Washington Redskins. Check your local listings, because all the action in the football's hottest division race, the NFC East, will be centered on CBS Sports next week. 1st and at the 26. Springs in motion. Dorsett dives back to the 25. Gain of 1. Under 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Joel Williams making the tackle.
It was really interesting to talk to Tony Hill yesterday and Danny White and listen to them talk about the obligation they had as elder statesmen on the club as far as the overall morale and discipline and attitude of the team is concerned. You felt that they really cared about that an awful lot and felt that they really had to lead by example and had to work very, very hard to get this team into the playoffs like they expect to be.
2nd down and 9 at the 25. Here is Dorsett, plus straight ahead inside the 20. It'll be 3rd and short yardage. Of course, the Cowboys, Hank, have been the object of a lot of controversy in the press with some of the things players have said, and it's gotten everyone into a lot of trouble, it seems.
Well, plus the fact that I think Tom Landry recently said that anybody who wanted to squeak about another teammate or somebody on the coaching staff, why it was going to cost them $1,000. And I think that makes young people concentrate a lot more about being positive. I know all the years at Kansas City, we had that rule for 15 years. If anybody said anything negative about anything in the phase of your program, they reached for the hip. It was a $1,000 fine because I didn't think that if they're going to be negative, it was not going to help us win. And the only thing we were concerned about is winning games, and that's what Tom's worried about and concerned about. And I think it was interesting to get the response of the players yesterday.
Start. Number 62 on the offense. 3rd down.
5 yards against Brian Bollinger. And I think the key thing is what you said. If it can help us win, go ahead and say it, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's the only thing. If you're going to say something and you want to see it in the paper the next day and it'll help us win, that's fine. If you're going to say something and then it's not the right way, don't come back the next day and say I was misquoted or I didn't say that. When you fine them $1,000, they all of a sudden think a lot more clearly and a lot more positively.
Think twice, yeah. 3rd down and 8 following the penalty. The ball back at the 24-yard line. In the spread formation. Danny White. Pressure. Safety blitz. And White is sacked for the first time today. Greg Brown with a career high 10.5 sacks. He's second to Dennis Harrison. The Eagles came in with 44 on the year. Their club record is 47. They're 2 away from that. Mark.
You know, Danny White made an interesting observation. He said, you know, this thing about changing quarterbacks has made everybody realize that the responsibility does not lie in the shoulders of one particular individual. It's not just one guy's fault that you win or lose. And I think today is another great illustration of that, because the quarterback has not had a good day, but in spite of that, they're still winning the game.
Right. Evan Cooper is back, and Danny White to punt. Going to the sideline, out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. They mark it at the 13. 8:01 remaining in the 4th quarter, and we'll be back to Veterans Stadium. Stram, of course, pointing out Dallas keeping the ball on the ground effectively. Look at the time of possession this half. Philadelphia hasn't had it much. When they've had it on breaks, they haven't capitalized. Terrific defensive game for the Dallas Cowboys. That's about what it's all about. Penalty markers fly. Pisarcik inside the 5. Off the fingers and intercepted. Michael Williams was the intended receiver, and Mike Hegman picks it off.
Randy White was offside, I think. Somebody was offside on the Dallas Cowboys, unless somebody in the offense made him jump offside, but we'll see in a minute.
The call? That's right. Encroachment against the defense. So the Eagles still maintain possession. Randy White with 2 sacks today. 11.5.
Offside, number 54 in the defense.
And it was Randy
Still
White.
First down.
Good call by official Stram up here. Tony Dorsett is within 3 yards of a 100-yard gain. I bet you he wasn't thinking of 100 yards in this game when he was knocked woozy in that first half. Pisarcik, first down 5. Pass completed to Michael Haddix, and he gets a first down.
People might wonder sometimes, we're talking about Tony Dorsett, talking about concussions, and why do you put him back in the game, and who determines whether he goes back into the game or not. I think that's always up to the discretion of the team doctor. You talk to the doctor and the trainer, they say, yeah, he can play, that's fine, along with the player himself, but you don't determine that as a coach. The doctors and the trainers and the person involved has that responsibility.
Dorsett has had only one 100-yard gain all year. That was against the Colts. He's 3 yards away from that. 1st and 10 at the 23 for the Eagles. 7 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. Pisarcik's pass caught by Hubie Oliver, but goes nowhere. Dexter Clinkscale holds him while Hegman hits him, and that'll be that. 2nd down, they pick up a couple yards. Joe Pisarcik, of course, getting the call with Ron Jaworski undergoing the surgery. Dean May, a free agent, signed in October, originally a Miami Dolphin draft pick, is a backup quarterback right now, and Jeff Christensen, who was signed, a former Bengal, is the 3rd quarterback on this team, and that, of course, opens things up for speculation.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of speculation. I think it's reasonable to assume that they probably would be looking for a young quarterback.
Pisarcik on 2nd and 7, swings it out to Michael Haddix. Haddix first down, 45 to the 48-yard line. Tackled by Michael Downs. 22-yard gain by Michael Haddix, the #1 draft pick last year, who's seeing more and more action now.
Now, Pisarcik really dumps this ball off in good shape, gets back into the pocket, sets up, looks downfield, and then throws it out of the flat, right on the run, right in front of the numbers, about 1.5 yards out in front. So Michael Haddix can catch the ball in stride and go down the field, makes a good gain on the play.
Woodruff to the left and Kenny Jackson to the right. Jackson has not caught a pass, coming back from injury. Pisarcik, watch out, gets the pass off to Spagnola. His 10th reception of the game to the Dallas 45-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and about 3 for the Philadelphia Eagles. Eugene Lockhart and Dexter Clinkscale make the tackle.
You know, overall, I think the offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles have done a pretty respectable job of pass protection. And I thought really Pisarcik has hung in the pocket very well. Good concentration. I tell you, he doesn't have nervous feet. He hangs in there tough, but that's typical of a guy who doesn't run very well. He has to stay in the pocket.
He's got a lot of experience, though, so he's not going to get flustered too much. You know, the line has done a good job. That's a good point. Pisarcik fires up the middle. Spagnola makes the catch. Forward progress will be the 39-yard line of Dallas, and another first down, make it the 38. Lockhart and Downs were in on the play. You know, this has got to be a great honor for John Spagnola to be the MVP on offense. Of course, his career high 11 receptions. Last year, he was out all of last year with a disc problem with the back, didn't play, and has come back big for the Eagles in '84.
Yeah, and he's a bright guy, fun to talk to, and he knows exactly what his role is. He reads coverages very, very well, and he said yesterday that he was excited about playing against the Cowboys, not only because the Cowboys, but because he was going to get a chance to play from the spread formation on the shotgun, which he hasn't done too much of in the past.
First and 10 at the 38 for the Eagles. Pisarcik going up on top. Intended for Woodruff. Flag down. Everson Walls might have been bumping Tony Woodruff once too often. They're going to call that against the Dallas Cowboys. 37-yard penalty, I think, is the mark-off.
Defensive pass interference, number 24. First down and goal.
Everson Walls, number 24. Look at all the room. Look at the big cushion he's got. It's amazing. See, he's in good position. He turns and runs. He's watching the receiver all the way, watching him all the way, watching him. Finally, when he sees a receiver look for the ball, he does too. But in the process, he gives him the old hook right on the left arm, and that's what the pass interference. Up until that point, he really played it very, very well.
He did. The Eagle wide receivers have caught only one pass today. Here's Pisarcik throwing, touchdown, Vito Cab. So the backup tight end, Vito Cab, on the receiving end of the touchdown, his third touchdown reception in 8 catches this year.
Play action fake, Vito Cab faking inside, a good fake. He fakes with the ball, and Vito Cab pops wide open. Cab pops wide open in the end zone for the touchdown. Vito Cab, number 84.
From Penn State. And Paul McFadden will add the conversion. Pisarcik will hold with 4 minutes and 2 seconds remain. The kick is good. It is now 23-10, and the Philadelphia Eagles need 2 touchdowns in the remaining 4 minutes. Cowboys lead, cut to 23-10 over the Philadelphia Eagles with 4:02 to go in the fourth quarter. Paul McFadden will be kicking off. Gary Allen is back for the Dallas Cowboys, and now they're going to line up for what looks to be an onside kick, and here it comes, and Cosby was right there. Doug Cosby recovers at the 44-yard line of Philadelphia, and so when we come back, we'll ask Coach Stram about the wisdom of the onside kick. Of course, hindsight is 20/20, if not our vision. Onside kick backfired, Hank. What do you think?
Well, I think the logic was good that time, really, because the Philadelphia Eagles had to kick the ball down the field. They haven't been able to stop the Cowboys. The only thing bad about the kick was the fact that it was a one-hopper, and those are easy to catch. On that kind of a situation, 50% of the time the kicking team recovers the football, but I'd much rather kick it at one of the defensive people and hope for a ricochet rather than the way he kicked it.
Danny White to throw on first down. Going for Cosby, covered by Ellis, incomplete. Terrific game once again for Randy White. Dennis Harrison is shaken up. But Randy White, 2 sacks, having one of his best years. Heading for his 8th straight Pro Bowl. Randy White. Harrison is shaken up for the Eagles, and we're going to take a break right here. Dennis Harrison, the injured left defensive end for the Philadelphia Eagles. 23-10 is the score. The Cowboys lead the Eagles with 3:55 to go. Right now, I want to tell you, coming up tonight, Dennis Thurman with an interception of a Joe Pisarcik pass. And then in the third quarter, the Cowboys broke it open after holding Philadelphia 4th and 1. Danny White hit Ron Springs with a 57-yard play, and it was 14-3. And then the Dallas defense, which has really been the hero today, John Dutton sacked Pisarcik in the end zone for a safety. And then Timmy Newsome scored a touchdown to make it 23-3 before the Eagles' last score. A little more than 2 minutes left in the game at the Meadowlands. The Giants leading by 10. Giants have the best situation. If they continue to win, they have the tiebreakers in their pockets with the best division record and so forth. Second down and 10. Dorsett with a couple to try to strip the ball away. The St. Louis Cardinals in a tough game in New England today, going in. And in the fourth quarter, the Cardinals breezing 33-10 over the New England Patriots. That'll give the Patriots a tough blow in their wild card hopes. The 49ers, who just keep rolling along, heading for their 13th win in 14 games. And right here, with 3:50 to go, we have a timeout. Philadelphia calls it, and we'll take a break. Minutes and 50 seconds remaining. The Philadelphia Eagles have 2 timeouts remaining. It is third down and 8 for the Dallas Cowboys. Eagles somehow, some way need 2 touchdowns to pull this game out. Tom Struthers, Harvey Armstrong, Byron Darby, and Greg Brown up front for Philadelphia. Cowboys on the Eagle 42. Danny White on third down under pressure, and he is stopped. Second quarterback trap, back to midfield. It'll be fourth down.
Wes Hopkins, number 48, was also involved in making the tackle, along with Harvey Armstrong, number 96.
So Evan Cooper goes back for the Eagles. 3:43 clock running, and Danny White will take as much time as he wants. And now the Eagles decide to use a timeout. Timeout called by Philadelphia. They have 1 timeout remaining. So their best hope would be to get a touchdown and an onside kick. They're not going to have much to work with timeout-wise. Well, the Dallas Cowboys, of course, coming into this game 15-1 after their Thanksgiving effort. They usually get 10 days, of course, and that really sets them up for the final month, doesn't it?
Yeah, a lot of people recover from injuries, and from an overall standpoint, look at this, 35-12 in games after Thanksgiving, and I think they've won their last 14 in a row.
And Pattern is holding forth in this one. Strange game in many ways, because Danny White certainly has not had a winning game statistically, but if he can get the W on the board, that's what they want from him. He has thrown 4 interceptions. Tony Dorsett on a halfback option threw another one, and in all 6 turnovers against Dallas.
And this is a great illustration. You've heard the expression many, many times. A quarterback and a coach get too much credit when they win and too much criticism when they lose. Today is a great illustration of that.
That's true. Danny White is back to punt with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go. High kick, and Evan Cooper calls for the fair catch at the 13-yard line. And the 3:33 show. The 37-yard punt by Danny White. More important, no return. Coming up next, the NFL Today postgame show with Brent Irvin and Jimmy the Greek. And they'll unravel the playoff situation, which, of course, the most complex one of all is the NFC Eastern Division, where if form holds, the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, will join the Washington Redskins at 9-5 atop the NFC Eastern Division. And the Cardinals at 8-6 would be 1 game behind. The Giants have the best division record, in case there's a tie at the end of the year. Giants beat Dallas twice, Washington once. And the Cardinals, Pisarcik's pass hits the defender, Victor Scott, intended for Mel Hoover. Hit him in the leg.
That ball looked like it was thrown like a curveball with a sloppy wrist. he wasn't able to follow through. It didn't look like very well, and as a result, the ball slid out of his hand and didn't spiral like it should have, and that's why it fell like it did.
Conference record is a tiebreaker. Could be one of the prime tiebreakers for wild card berth. Dallas 7-4 if they beat the Eagles. The Giants 7-5. Washington 6-4. And the Rams are 6-4. They're playing later. Pisarcik, his pass caught nicely by Hoover to the 33-yard line and a first down. Victor Scott defending. Good catch by Mel Hoover. 19-yard pickup. 3:14 remaining, and an Eagle is shaken up, and it looks to be Hoover, but let's wait and see. Clock stops. 3:14 showing on the clock. The Eagles have one timeout remaining. They need 2 touchdowns. Ted Marchibroda talking things over with Joe Pisarcik.
You know, you have to really be impressed with the way Pisarcik has played today, even though he hasn't played for a long time. I think he's assumed the responsibility very well. He threw a lot of good balls. Quite a few of them were dropped, one of which was dropped in the end zone at a critical time. The other opportunity they had, 4th and inches, and they blew that opportunity. But that was really kind of the difference in the game. They had chances, but they didn't take advantage of the chances, and you have to give Dallas a lot of credit for stopping them from taking advantage of those opportunities.
Pisarcik said the biggest thing is to be consistent. If a man's open, hit him, and he's done that.
You're right.
Pisarcik 1st and 10, and Jeffcoat decks him inside the 20. That's the 5th sack of the ball game. So that's 15 sacks in the last 2 games for the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Jeffcoat really got off the ball in great shape that time, got a good push, and Pisarcik didn't see him coming until it was too late and got a shot. 2nd down and 21. Pisarcik swings it out to Michael Haddix, who goes out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Gain of only 3 yards on the play. Now, if the Giants and the Cowboys and the Cardinals all win, this is the way the NFC East will look. New York, Washington, and Dallas at 9-5. Keep in mind the Giants with a 5-2 division record. That's their ace in the hole. Cardinals are a game behind, but the Cardinals play the Giants next week, and Washington plays Dallas. So that's going to open things up. Philadelphia, of course, out of it. Their wild card chances go down the drain today. They hung in there a long time, huh? Yeah, the other thing that's important, you know, a lot of people keep asking about the Cowboys. What's wrong with the Cowboys? Everybody is...
Interception by Michael Downs to the 20, to the 15-yard line. It was a deflection, and Michael Downs with the interception for the Dallas Cowboys, his 6th of the year.
He comes into the inside there. The ball is knocked into the air. Michael Downs gets it in the air and brings it back in good shape down to about the 14-yard line. And again, Dallas has good field position. But we're going back to the Dallas thing. You know, people just assume that they're going to throw the hats out, put the hats on, and pump the balls up and win. And they criticize the Cowboys for not being as good as they have been in the past, and maybe they're not. The only thing that's really important is that they're in the race. That's what the game's all about, being in the race. They're in the race, and you have to give them an awful lot of credit for still being in the race and having a chance to get the playoff and still get a shot to finish.
Tony Dorsett, no gain. Ken Clark hit him. That was a 26-yard return on that interception by Downs. You know, everyone complains about how good a team is. I think a lot of clubs would like to be in the race and have people say, boy, what's the matter with you? You're not playing good football.
That's right. I never cared about what they said about our team as long as we were winning and as long as we were in the race. That's what it's all about. Doesn't make any difference.
Want to remind you, next week on CBS, it all begins with the NFL Today, and football's action's got to be right here. The Giants against the Cardinals. Some of you in the Midwest will see the Packers and the Bears, or Atlanta, Tampa Bay in the Atlanta region. That's at 12:30 Eastern. And, of course, the big second game of the doubleheader, the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys. One of those teams, barring a tie, will move into undisputed or into first place. Shouldn't say undisputed because the Giants play the Cardinals and can stay tied. You know, Hank, the other thing about Tom Landry's team is that they're playing football and winning these days with their defense, and late in the year, that's what's going to get them far.
Well, I think the other thing, in the past, I think last year, the real problem with their team was not the quarterback, wasn't anything but the defense. Now the defense, I think, is playing very, very well, and it's very important going into the playoffs, if that's what's going to happen, that you play well defensively. If you play well defensively, you got a chance.
2nd down and 10. The Saints and the Rams are playing. The game is getting underway. The big game in the wild card, and Danny White caught in the grasp of Anthony Griggs. 3rd time for the Eagles today. That's how much time remains in this 23-10 game, Dallas over Philadelphia. Now, we talked about Dallas and Washington next week and the Cardinals and the Giants. Cowboys still have a game against the Miami Dolphins the last week of the season. And the Cardinals have to travel RFK Stadium to face the Washington on the last weekend, while the Giants are home with New Orleans.
And so, really, I think the people feel that the Giants have the best chance.
I would have
the
to
observation?
Say
Yeah.
Sure. Anytime all you have to do is win your games, you don't have to worry about what the others do, you're in good shape. 2-minute warning upon us right now. It's 23-10 in favor of the Cowboys, and we'll take a break right now. Minutes remaining in the 4th quarter here at the Veterans Stadium. The Cowboys leading 23-10. They won the previous meeting on the 3rd weekend of the season in Dallas, 23-17.
Just saw another shot of Marion Campbell and also Fred Bruni, the assistant head coach, who does such a very outstanding job with the defensive backs, the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They're not very far away either, are they?
No, they feel good about the progress they make. They really do.
3rd down and 21. And here's Tony Dorsett. Dorsett out of bounds at the 15-yard line. It'll be 4th down. Tony Dorsett has gone over 100 yards for the first time in his career here in Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia.
And it's remarkable considering the fact that he got a concussion earlier in the game and came back and played as strong as he did. Look at this, St. Louis 33, New England 10. That's a final.
Stump Mitchell, Otis Anderson scored touchdowns. Thomas Howard on a fumble recovery, and Lomax to Doug Marsh. This will be a 32-yard field goal attempt for Raphael Septien, with Gary Hogaboom holding. The kick is up, the kick is good, and it is now 26-10 in favor of the Dallas Cowboys with 1:51 showing. Sepp with his first field goal of the ball game. He is 21 of 27 for the year, and maybe the best clutch field goal kicker in the game. I want to remind you, on the NFL Today post-game show, Brent, Irv, and Jimmy will be in the studio with scores and highlights. And, of course, they're going to provide you with scores and look at the playoff possibilities. And Hank and I will be talking to this man, Tony Dorsett. I tell you, he looks a lot happier than he did in the 2nd quarter, when maybe he didn't know where he was.
Boy, the way he got hit, I was a little fearful that there was seriously something wrong with him. But it was great to see him get up and walk off toward the sideline and come back and play again.
And gain 108 yards. Final score, the New York Giants beat the New York Jets. So the Giants, the Redskins, and the Cowboys, 9-5, and the Cardinals one behind, 8-6. The big games next week. Giants at St. Louis and Washington at Dallas. Both on CBS, part of the CBS NFL doubleheader. Andre Waters is back, and Septien will kick off. Waters at the 7-yard line. Carries it out to the 27-yard line. 1st and 10, Philadelphia.
You know, the impressive thing about this game also has been the play of the specialty teams. Both specialty teams have really been outstanding here this afternoon.
They have. I mean, Michael Horan has been a sensational putter for Philadelphia. And, of course, the coverages have been good. Good, crisp tackling on both ends. turnovers in the ball game. Kenny Jackson and Woodruff split to the left. Sarchik in the shotgun. First and 10 at the 27-yard line. His pass caught by Haddix and hit immediately by Everson Walls. Chicago Bears, of course, have wrapped up the NFC Central, and the 49ers going on. If they go on and beat the Atlanta Falcons, they will have a home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Pisarcic's pass, was it caught? They say no catch. Greg Garrity picked up on waivers from Pittsburgh Steelers out of Penn State. Bill Bates hit him, and he almost held on anyway.
And he reminds you an awful lot of Pat Tilley, watching him in practice and the way he moves, and he's about the same size, good hands, good move guy, catches the ball very, very well.
3rd down and 7 for the Eagles on the 30-yard line. 1:14 to go, and the crowd really thinning here. They came in full force, a sellout at Veterans Stadium for the big battle with the Cowboys, and for a while it was. Pisarcic's pass caught by Haddix at the 35-yard line. It'll be 4th down and about 2. Victor Scott and Bill Bates make the tackle.
And this is where you want to double cover the outside receivers and make sure you make them throw inside so they can't run something outside and stop the clock.
Pisarcik on 4th down completes the pass to Michael Williams. It'll be a 1st down for the Eagles. Just shy of the 40-yard line. Vince Albritton making the tackle. The Eagles are going through a 2-minute drill. This game is over score-wise, 26-10. At the 40-yard line, Pisarcik is going to run out of bounds as Everson Walls forced him out of bounds with 17 seconds to go. Well, the executive producer of NFL football on CBS, Terry O'Neill, senior producer Charles H. Milton III, and our game produced and directed in superb fashion as usual by Karatzis, our producer, and Andy Kindle, our director. Mike Albanese, the associate producer, Victor Frank, our broadcast associate, and Marty Aronoff, our spotter, Pat McGrath, our statistician. 2nd down and 14. Pisarcic's pass, and almost should have been intercepted. Walls and Thurman both had the same idea. Neither of them came up with it. Walls probably said to Thurman, look, you ran one back for a touchdown. How about me getting a chance?
It looked like one tried to intercept the other one from the other.
How about my getting a chance, he probably said, not me.
Yeah, that's right. And Walls is smiling a little bit, laughing a little bit. Of course, he didn't get hurt on a play like Thurman did. He got a shot.
3rd down, 14 with 11 seconds to go. It was 7-3 at the half. Anyone's game, and the Philadelphia Eagles couldn't take advantage of Dallas turnovers, and the Cowboys' defense was brilliant today. Pisarcik is sacked. And that's the 7th sack of the ball game. Ed Jones. So all 4 of the Dallas front 4 sacked the quarterback today. Randy White and Jim Jeffcoat have 2 apiece. Dutton had a safety, and the ball game is over. Marion Campbell waves to Tom Landry. The game is over. The final score, the Dallas Cowboys 26, the Philadelphia Eagles 10, and we'll be back to Veterans Stadium.
Welcome to those of you who watched the Dallas Cowboys defeat the Philadelphia Eagles 26-10, and so the Cowboys, the Washington Redskins, and the New York Giants now remain tied for first in the NFC East. We've had the second. Of course, they close out 26-10 over the Philadelphia Eagles. It was the Cowboy defense which struck first in this game, and Joe Pisarcik was looking for his tight end, Spagnola. Watch Dennis Thurman come up beautifully in this play early.
Really an alert play by Thurman. Picked the ball off and
scooted along the sideline for the touchdown. That's really an easy play for a defensive back to make. Intercept one on the sideline, you usually get in there.
Danny White struggled early, didn't he?
Boy, he sure did. He threw 4 interceptions during the course of the game. But, you know, the Washington Redskins said that Ron Springs is the toughest back in the league to cover out of the backfield, and that's why. Once he catches the ball, he can go all the way with it.
Speaking of Danny White, those final stats on him were 8 of 25, 125 yards, 1 touchdown, and those 5 interceptions. Dick Stockton covered that game, so let's go out to him. Dick?
Thank you very much, Brendan. You're so right. Defense is the story of the ball game as the Cowboys beat the Eagles 26-10. It was 7-3. And you know, Hank, it isn't often that a team gets 6 turnovers on the part of the Dallas Cowboys, and Philadelphia couldn't take advantage of it.
Well, you know, the old saying that offense creates excitement and defense wins games. Today was a great illustration of that. The Cowboys won the game because they were able to they made a lot of mistakes, but in spite of that, they still played well enough defensively to win the contest.
They had 7 sacks in all, and they had 10 last, so that's 17 in 2 games. But let's not forget about the Dallas offense, because on the field right now we had the hero of the Dallas Cowboys offense, and there he is, Tony Dorsett. And Tony, you ended up with 110 yards, and I don't think you expected to have 110 yards after a play in the first half when you fumbled. Ray Ellis hit you. Let's take a look at it. Huh? Do you think you do as well today?
Well, Dick, actually, I was really surprised to get hit as hard. It was just a routine toss play for us going outside. And as you see, as the play develops, I seen Jerry Robinson tangling outside to prevent me from going outside, so I cut back inside. And lo and behold, someone just popped out of the clear blue. Look at that, number 24, Ellis, I think it is. Pretty good shot there.
Yeah, the thing that really hurt was the fact that he hit you so high and hit you right in the head with his helmet, knocked your helmet off almost, didn't he?
He knocked me out cold, and I had to sit out, of course, the remainder of the first quarter and the second quarter and just try to regroup and get myself ready to play the second half.
When did you decide that you could make it in the second half and come back?
Well, I was actually ready to go back in later on in the first half, but the doctors decided not to let me go in until they checked me and diagnosed the whole situation carefully at halftime. And we got in. I feel good. My head was, I wasn't groggy anymore. I was rearing and ready to go.
I think, Tony, there's been a lot of talk about what a great running back you are, but I think today was a great illustration what a great competitor you are to come back in a game so quickly and do so well after that kind of a hit. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Hank.
And Tony, you know, you went over 1,000 yards once again, and this is the first time in your career you got over 100 here in Philadelphia. And now you got the Washington Redskins coming up next week, and now you can think of that big game.
Well, you know, it was encouraging for us offensively, especially to get our running game going. You know, we haven't been able to do or establish very much in the running game all this year. So to get it going this time of the year is very encouraging because, as you know, this is a stretch drive, and every game is very important. And, of course, next week is a very important ball game because we're playing Washington. We're tied for first place, and we're in the Eastern Division. All
right, Tony, thank you very much. Congratulations. And, of course, it's only a big game next week because Dallas made it a big game this week, beating Philadelphia 26-10. Right now, let's go back to Brent in New York.
Hey, Dick, thank you. And I tell you, the Denver Broncos, who had all the luck